What on, Joe?
Welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10.
What is up, everybody? What's going on?
We have a larger than full studio tonight. Larger than full studio? A packed studio?
Virtual
Overfull?
studio?
Virtually packed studio? Yeah, we'll get through it.
It is
virtually packed.
It's virtually packed in here.
I am Adam. I am one of your hosts normally, but tonight I'm not hosting the show. I mean, I'm part of the hosts, but yeah, you get it. Sitting across from me over in the chair,
Ron.
and sitting over on the man-colored futon.
What is up, everybody? It's Josh.
But none of us are hosting tonight.
Nope.
As we put something special in Discord tonight is the title for this. We have a guest remote host for the show this evening. And I'm going to read you their little catchphrase first because this is glorious. Guys, we need to do something as professional as this. Andy and Art, two Chicago comedian skeptics, are forced to delve into the world of conspiracies, the paranormal, UFOs, and all things bizarre. So, guest hosting tonight on the show is Andy and Art from Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast. Welcome, fellas.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us on the show. We're here in the bunker.
That's right.
We are in the bunker studio, coming to you live.
That's fucking cool. And the Bunker Studio is in Chicago as well. We were kind of talking about that a little bit before the show.
It's in a remote place. We don't, it's kind of outside, but you could say Chicago area.
Chicago
Right,
area?
yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
And that's
We're
kind
surrounded
of
by a fortress of Walmarts in a foresty area.
that kind of ties in a little bit. So friends of ours that have guested on our show, and we've guested with them in the past, from Hysteria 51, that's Britt and John. They're, I think, tied to you guys, and I think that's how this connection eventually made its way through. Is that true? Or oh man, I hope they say
We're
we
familiar.
hate those guys.
Brett Hand has before come down and held a gun to both of our heads.
And we have received threatening emails from John Goforth and various cease and desist letters from Hysteria 51.
I so hope that's
But
true. That
Seabot
would be
has
so
been
awesome.
nothing but kind to us. Seabot has been just the sweetest little robot we have ever met. Absolutely wonderful. So
What a
yeah.
gem.
But to answer your question, yes, we do know Hysteria 51.
That's cool. We want to thank them for the connection to you guys, because we did. So Josh and I, for the listeners of the Twisted 10, we guested on an episode of Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time, where I don't know if you guys allow a teaser, but the topic of that show was very fun, very interesting, and very nerdy. It's very up our alley.
So good.
That's true.
That's true. We were discussing the legend of the arcade classic Polybius.
That's right. Yes. Have you ever heard about this, Ron?
A little bit, but I don't know much about it.
Long story short, 1981, 83-ish, somewhere in that time frame, this game supposedly came out, and kids at arcades, back when there were arcades, would, get sick and have diarrhea, shitting, uncontrollable shitting, and just all sorts of problems from playing this game. And then suddenly the game was no longer anywhere available, no information from a company. It's an urban legend.
But this game never
conspiracy.
actually existed. Maybe.
Well, you know what? You can find out the answer to that and make up your own decision if you listen to that episode of Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast.
All
that
right,
Josh and I
I
were
get
on.
to be a bunk funker.
That's right. That's their listeners. How did you guys come up with
right.
it? That's a fucking cool name for your listeners, Bunk Funkers.
I do not know.
I don't know.
I think we were like, oh yeah, bunk and funk kind of rhyme, huh? And then we just went from there.
Somebody used it once, and then we're the type of people that if a thing happens once, it's already a thing.
It's a trend. Yeah.
It only happens to have to happen once, and it's already a trend. So
That's true.
we just started doing it, and now we do it incessantly.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Their URL is MrBunkersConspiracyTime.com. Social media is at Mr. Bunker Pod, and that's pretty much everywhere for your guys' social media tags. They have a YouTube channel with some pretty cool videos as well. Go check that out. But yeah, we're super stoked to have you guys on the show. I think this is going to be a very fun episode. Unless it's the top 10 conspiracies about Polybius, then it's like a repeat.
That would have been.
Oh boy! No, that's definitely not it.
No, we
can
don't.
We go on a quick 4-minute hiatus?
Quick, pull up BuzzFeed. Pull a list.
No, so I am the one who vetted their list this week. As you guys know, when we have a guest host, one of us from the main cast here will just kind of vet the topic and stuff to make sure it's, not garbage. And I am excited to say that this is most definitely not garbage.
I like it.
I'm excited for the list.
So it's better than anything Adam has done, is what you're saying.
Sir, we came off our last recording with you saying that was one of the most fun
that
shows
was the most
you've ever
fun
had.
show I've ever done.
All right.
It was.
Yeah,
Oh, you did
That
that?
man had a family.
I take it all back.
What if my ghostwriter is really my wife? What if she writes all of my episodes?
I think your ghostwriter is these Funker bunches right here.
Marky
Mark and the Funker bunch.
Hello, are you guys still there? They already
We're gone.
Your jokes are so bad.
Denigrating our
We're
show.
heading off to Wahlburger.
Yeah.
We gotta go get ourselves a couple of Wahlburgers, baby.
Nice.
Delicious.
No, that's awesome.
We're not going to the restaurant Wahlburgers. We have a room in the bunker that's just got cheeseburgers
Just
on
a
the wall.
wall of hamburgers.
So I gave you guys a little bit of a kind of an intro to our listeners, and our listeners are eminently familiar with Hysteria 51. So give us a kind of a
Tell us about your
Cliff's
show.
Notes version about what you guys do and what makes you guys have fun doing podcasting.
We Andy and I have been friends for far too long. Well over a decade, right, Andy?
Yeah, well, if you count well over a decade, as
Feels
being,
like so much longer.
like slightly over a decade, then the answer is yes.
And we've done a lot of different comedy ventures around the city. We've done, we used to do improv. We did a lot of sketch comedy. We did, YouTube web series and stuff. But then one kind of like fateful day, Andy and I were abducted from our homes, and we were taken to the bunker by this guy. His name was Mr. Bunker.
Mr. Bunker.
He's an illusionary mastermind. He does these elaborate tricks to abduct us and take us to the bunker, and then he would force us to podcast about the paranormal, UFOs, all this stuff, because he knew we were such skeptics. He wanted to try and convince us and the world of the things that he was into.
Right.
Now, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Fast forward now, we have taken Mr. Bunker to court.
Unfortunately, during COVID, during the pandemic,
That's true.
we were not able to be in the bunker.
That's right.
And our relationship with Mr. Bunker soured.
Very much so.
So it ended up in a protracted legal battle.
Yeah.
With both of us suing Mr. Bunker and each other. Everybody was suing. It was sort of like a
It was a big
round robin.
Yeah, it was a
sue-off
round
kind of
robin
thing.
sue off.
And but we did eventually prevail. We defeated Mr. Bunker in court. We took possession of the bunker, and we also were able to adopt an undead teenage Sasquatch and an adult baby David Cross.
Undead, not alive, but undead.
Mr.
undead.
Bunker murdered the Sasquatch
He
with a
used,
katana.
he used black magic to bring the Sasquatch back to life and murder with a katana. It's very
As one does.
Standard stuff. It's a classic trope, but it's what it is. It is what it is. So, that's kind of where we're at now. But we still cover similar topics, but we haven't seen Mr. Bunker in a while. So
we have no idea what he's up to. He
we're-
ran off immediately after the verdict
That's
in
true.
court.
Out of shame, he lost.
Yeah,
He's
likely.
shameful.
I still can't
Likely.
get past the zombie Sasquatch.
Well, his name is Peon Musk, and he is our teenage son, and so he's a
Nice.
lot like a normal teenager, but in other ways,
Yeah.
he's also an undead Sasquatch. So you
Right.
kind of got to balance that out as a father.
Yeah. We're co-parenting this family.
That's
we are
right.
two daddies.
That's right.
And
As you guys know, you guys are all a couple of daddies as well, so you know what
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like to. You gotta cart the kids around. You gotta make sure they're doing their homework and stuff. You gotta
Keep 'em
get a
from-
babysitter to go down to Applebee's to hunt for strange. And what daddies do.
Nice.
He's so accurate on some of these statements.
Oh,
It's
my
just
God.
it's so spot on.
right, you guys are daddies. You get it.
Oh yeah, we get it. We for sure get it. I have never appreciated alone time more than I have as a father, and I've got 4 kids at home. So when I get daddy alone time, if I'm not masturbating, I'm enjoying my quiet.
I thought that's what
time.
alone time was. That was a euphemism for masturbating.
Is it a Pavlovian instant response when everybody leaves the house, Ron? You are furiously masturbating.
Pavlovian. I like it.
You like that?
Yeah.
Wait, here, are you salivating when I do this?
Why? Why would I salivate?
That's the whole Pavlov thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't know what it meant. That's why I was like impressed by the word. I don't know what that Pavlovian means.
Okay. Short story. Pavlov was a scientist, and he was studying association psychology. And in this case, it was with a dog. In this case, he would ring the bell, give the dog a treat, ring the bell, give the dog a treat, repeated this days and days and days. And then eventually he just started ringing the bell. The dog would immediately start to salivate. So he created an unprovoked response. Well, no, provoked response, but an whatever. The
I know
dog
what you mean.
salivates on the ring of a bell. So
Okay.
Right.
that's Pavlov.
Cool.
Enrique
So,
Ron, not
what you're saying is when you ring a bell, you masturbate? Is that what you're asking me if I do?
just came twice.
Okay. Nice.
No, Ron, what we're saying is that, as the door is closing, your family's walking out the door and the door is closing and you can feel your erection growing. That's the Pavlovian response.
Yeah.
Ron's like, I know what sites I'm about to go to. The wife's leaving.
All right.
It's all true, though. Wait, but you guys touch on like
Where's that
UFOs,
Haynes catalog?
conspiracies, all of the paranormal, all of the
Yeah.
fringe science kind of stuff. You guys, that's
Yeah.
the focus of your guys' show. Is that correct?
Definitely. We cover a wide conspiracies in the title, but we really do. We cover like UFOs. We'll cover unsolved mysteries a lot of the times.
Oh, nice.
With Robert
We'll
Stack?
cover
Do they even know who that
Robert
is?
Stack.
We also resurrected him
We resurrected-
to bring him onto the show.
Yeah, that's true.
We're trying to adopt undead Robert Stack as our third son.
I just remember that music from Unsolved Mysteries as a kid. I used to love
that show. Oh my God,
Oh,
yes.
that's such a good show.
I didn't even understand
Very
why.
comfy show.
Yeah, I don't know. It was true crime before true crime was even a fad.
Yes.
It was before it was popular.
Before it was a whole channel, it was a 30-minute show once a week.
100%. Well, very cool. We've got a few housekeeping plugs to get through, so we're going to turn that over to Josh for just a minute to get us through some of these housekeeping plugs.
Yeah, so before we hand the reins off to Andy and Art here, I just want to give a thanks to our Twisted Council for supporting the show. You guys are awesome. And a thank you to the Bunk Funkers who have joined us from Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time. Some of their supporters, they're hanging out in Discord as well with us. So I appreciate that. So speaking of Discord, that is one of the things we have for our show. You can come hang out with us anytime. We're up there. I leave it up. I pay way more attention to Discord than like my work email. So I will respond. Like, we'll respond. Just come say hey. It's there. And as far as the council goes, they have a little thing called the After Show. A little bit of extra content for them, for council members only. So if you want information, how to get to Discord, what the After Show is about, and how to get to it, twisted10.com. I'll get you all the information and the links. And just a small little shout out. We've been talking about it. Our incoming sponsor, Manscaped. So thanks to them. We'll actually have next week a little bit more information about it. However, we got a box of Manscaped goodies today, and I think we're going to be passing some of those out to some listeners.
Hell
yeah. Just be sure to catch next week's episode. I'll get you some more information on how to get some free Manscaped swag.
We're going to be doing a Manscaped giveaway in the box. Ron's pubes.
Oh God, man, that's an endless.
Please take it. Please take
That is
it.
a priceless gift. You can't put a price on that.
Somebody could take one of those pubes and clone themselves a brand new Ron.
Oh God, why would you need more than one? I'm already like 3 myself. I'm so fat.
All right, well, gentlemen, so basically the rest of the show is yours. Our format pretty much stays the same. We go, you announce and talk about your list, your upcoming list, and then you go through 10 through 6, we break, and then do 5 through 1. So, gentlemen, we are turning the Twisted 10 over to you.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later. Appreciate you getting this set up.
Got stage fright.
Welcome to Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast. No, seriously, thanks for having us on,
Yeah.
guys. We're doing. I guess I'll just announce the list at the top here. Today's list, we're going to give you the top 10 music conspiracies.
Ooh.
That's gonna be fun.
Ooh, I've already got like 4 or 5 that have popped into my head, but no spoilers.
we'll see.
Baby,
We'll
let's
see.
see. Let's see if
We'll
you
see
can
if
get
they
some
make the
all.
cut.
Yeah,
All right.
let's see.
All right, so we'll start off with number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Andy, you got to do your Case Kasem voice.
Oh, we'll start off with number 10.
Damn, that's actually pretty good.
Sultry.
Number 10. Post Malone is cursed.
Oh,
Bum, bum, bum.
Wait. Ron is looking at me kind of. Ron, do you know who Post Malone is?
Yeah, he actually sings one of my favorite songs, Circles.
Oh, okay, all right. Cool.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Ron, I didn't know you had a face tattoo.
Me and Mike Tyson, we got ours together.
Wow.
Cute.
Hot boxing with Ron. All right. That one didn't land as hard.
Nah,
That's a sentence that's
not
never
like
been
Mike.
said.
Not like Mike Tyson's punches. Am I
Yeah.
right? Talk about something that lands hard. So the origin of this conspiracy, or whatever you want to call it, is that Post Malone was hanging out with Zach Baggins at his haunted museum in downtown Las Vegas.
Zach Baggins, the very, very world famous host of Ghost Adventures on whatever channel,
Travel Channel or
whatever Ghost Adventures is on.
Ron, do you know Zach Baggins?
No.
You know who would know that is one of our former hosts. Tack probably would.
Yeah,
it's
for
one of
sure.
those where they check out like haunted houses and stuff, right? Where they just go and search.
They
for
go
the
to
paranormal.
haunted locations and then they go, "Oh, did you hear that?" And then they run away.
And where some production guys had his hand on the wall for the last 10 minutes leaning up against it, they suddenly turned the heat sensor over and that was there. Look,
Right.
somebody's hand was there, obviously. No.
Look, there's a warm spot in my jeans.
That's a way better joke. Way better than mine.
That's not hard.
But yeah, I mean it's Ghost Adventures.
So they were doing Ghost Adventures in the haunted museum in Las Vegas, and inside the museum is this thing called the Dybbuk box, or the Dybbuk box.
I think it's Dybbuk box.
I think it's Dybbuk box, which is considered to be the most haunted object in the world.
Yeah.
So it's this like ancient, supposedly, like very old box, and inside it's cursed basically.
Yeah,
The whole
anybody
thing
who
is
like
cursed.
the previous owner like died and there was like a bunch like in a horrific way, and then so they had to sell it off, and everybody who owns it and touches it is apparently cursed for life.
Wow.
It's a very scary thing.
So it's kind of like the Hope Diamond. The Hope Diamond is supposed to have all sorts of curses on it. The owners die every
Right.
time somebody owns it personally or something.
Yeah, Adam, this is very much the same thing. It's like this box is supposedly cursed, so cursed, in fact.
Yeah.
Zach Baggins touched the box while he and Post Malone were together, and Post Malone touched Zach Baggins' shoulder while Zach Baggins was touching the Dybbuk box. The curse, transitive properties, the curse went directly through Zach Baggins right into Post Malone.
Yeah. He was like a conductor.
That's how he got cursed by the Dybbuk box.
Huh. What's the speculation there? Is he like going to die, or is he just gonna have more record sales? What's the negative?
He's going to continue to make Doritos commercials forever.
He can only be a spokesperson for Doritos.
He's gonna have a chart-topping hit.
He's gonna make it to number 2 and never get to number 1.
That would kind of suck, actually.
But after this event, after this encounter with the Dybbuk box, Post had a series of near-death experiences, actually. So he was on a plane, and this was only days after the Dybbuk box incident. The plane was forced to make an emergency landing after the tires on the plane blew off during takeoff. So the plane gets in the air. They have to make an emergency landing. Luckily, Post was okay. Everybody was okay. The landing was fine. Then, not long after that, there were 3 armed robbers who broke into a home where Post used to live. These guys broke in. They demanded to see him. They stole cash and jewelry. Ultimately, they took things worth over $20,000.
Yeah.
Damn, it's
Post
a good
was
heist.
not there, so he did not have a run-in with these guys. He was not there. And then, finally, Post Malone was driving his Rolls Royce when he got T-boned by a Kia in West Hollywood. Wow.
By IKEA? No, I'm just kidding. That's pretty impressive.
By a Kia.
No, I knew what you meant.
A Kia, Ron. Luckily, Post was not hurt in that.
Well,
He's cursed. But he's cursed.
Yeah, but you gotta. Well, hold on. So you guys, just to throw some love back towards the podcast, you guys are typically more on the skeptical side, where one of you is usually more skeptical than the other. However, you both carry a pretty heavy level of skepticism. I'm going to call bullshit on the story because we know that his life was not in danger when a Mercedes or when a what car did you say? Rolls Royce that he was driving or passenger in got hit by all of the same amount of weight as a housefly when a Kia struck the side of that thing. He wasn't in danger. Come on.
It was near death. It was near death, Adam.
Maybe it was a Kia Soul. I mean, you don't know.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Boom. I like that.
The real die book box.
So as I do sometimes when I'm curious about words that I've never heard before, I looked this one up.
Post is his first name.
Okay, cool.
He-
Post M-A-L. I looked it up. It is dabak. It is a Yiddish word and it's a term from Jewish mythology. It's basically an angry ghost that possesses something. So it's a ghost-possessed box.
So it's like our term for poltergeist, but in this case, it's a ghost that possesses an object. So it would be the Bach.
In this case, yeah, the box that he touched.
So it's a Jewish ghost that's possessing that box.
Yes,
Yeah.
generally a soul released by exorcism
Really?
in particular. That's cool. I'd never heard of that one.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Or Post Malone.
Fun.
I'm just kidding.
Josh tried to save it. Couldn't save it.
Josh, thank you for the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
He really is.
Every show.
All right.
That was number 10.
That was number 10.
Nice start.
That's pretty good. Is it before you go to number 9? Is there any expiration date on the curse of Post Malone? Is there, is it until death or is it until, he says 7 Hail Marys or whatever? Is there a way to get out of it?
Not that we know of. I guess he's
No.
cursed forever, but
This is a pretty sticky curse.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not aware of any way that you can break the debug box curse. You just live with it forever.
Could it be like that, Ron? I don't remember the name of the movie, so forgive me here. But there was a movie where the time is on my side. That song was kind of a key to the movie, and it was a demon that was possessing bodies, and then they would touch another person and would immediately transfer to that person, and then they would start singing that time. Oh, I'm not going to do it again. I wonder if it's like that. I wonder if Post Malone can somehow cast his Dibach curse by touching. I imagine he's touched somebody since then, but
He's probably touched a lot of girls.
yeah, maybe.
Women. Touched a lot of women.
Good save. So we actually
In their box. In their box.
I knew I was going to wrap in there somewhere.
I had to.
So just a quick question, something we tend to ask and we didn't tonight. Just got a reminder from Discord. Thank you. Is there a twist to your list? Is there?
Good call.
Sometimes on the show we'll do made up entry or something to that effect. Is there a twist?
If there is, you don't have to tell us the twist. You
Good
just
call.
say if it's present, and then if you want to give details about it, you can tell us the details or save it for the end. That's up to you.
Or not? That's fine too.
Yeah, no, most of our shows don't have a twist.
Yeah.
We did not prepare a twist.
Awesome. That's fine.
We apologize.
No, it's okay. Most of the time we don't
We
either.
are truthful. We are two truthful little boys, and
This is 2 truths and another truth.
favorite game.
And then 7
We're
more
playing
truths.
truth or dare, and we're only picking truth.
I like it.
Cool. Cool.
Should we go on to number 9?
Yeah,
Number
you guys want to?
Number 9.
we want to hear number 3. No, I'm just kidding. No, go ahead. Number
All
9.
right.
Hit us with it.
Here we go. Number 9.
This one is that Beyonce is older than she claims to be.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hold your applause.
Yeah. Pick your jaws up, fellas, because
Yeah.
this is a big one.
Yeah. Well, wait till you hear what we have to say about it, boys. Beyonce might be actually older than she says she is. Allegedly, Beyonce's birthday is September 4th, 1981.
Oh.
But Beyonce's dad, Matthew Knowles, said a few years ago during a radio interview that Beyonce is the same age as the singer Pink, who was born in 1979, 2 years before Bey's stated birthday. Adding some more fuel to this raging conspiracy fire is that Gabrielle Union, she's still married to Dwayne Wade.
Yes.
You guys know?
I think so.
But Ron had that ready to go. He knew that answer quick.
Yeah.
Ron must be a
I
Heat
follow,
fan.
He's a Heat fan.
I follow NBA. I follow Heat. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Oh. What's Dwayne Wade been up to?
Not much.
Just
He's doing.
Well, if you
no,
hear
he's
from
doing a
him
little
again,
commentary.
Ron, you
He's
just
doing
let
some
him know I'm
commentary
asking.
on I think TNT. Plug bell for Dwayne Wade.
I'm not
just kidding.
plugging Bell, Dwayne Wade. No,
Plug bell for banging Gabrielle Union.
I'd plug.
There, get him
I'll
with
give
that.
I'll give it a half.
Okay, good enough.
Wow. So Gabrielle Union said that she and Beyonce have been friends since they were teenagers, even though Gabrielle was born in 1972.
It's quite a difference.
What's going on here,
It's a
guys?
9-year gap.
That's even
It's a
older.
9-year gap.
Yeah,
Now
that's
Beyonce gave birth to Solange as a teen, and that's another part of the theory, right, Andy? That is that she gave birth to Solange as a teen, who is Solange Knowles is her sister,
Yeah.
but the conspiracy is saying that she actually gave birth to her as a teenager and is actually 44.
Yeah.
And this was said by a former Columbia Records employee.
Of course, that's Beyonce's label. So this employee allegedly's got the goods. Beyonce's actually 44 and gave birth to Solange.
Yeah.
so they're saying her friend is considered her. The conspiracy behind that is that her friend is her daughter.
That her sister
Her,
is
si-
her
I meant
daughter.
I meant her sister. My apologies. Yeah,
Right?
her sister is.
I
her
assume that
daughter.
they're friends.
Huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Sister
Ron,
daughter.
any word on if Beyonce is still friends with her sister or any of the other members of Destiny's Child? Ron, when you're hanging out with
no,
Beyonce.
sorry, I don't have any intimate knowledge on that.
Well, if you do talk to Beyonce, can you just let her know that Andy and I gave her a call? We've been asking about
I
her.
will.
We keep calling her
Last
phone
time I
number.
talked to her, she said, "Put a ring on it." That's all I heard.
That is so Beyonce.
Oh my goodness.
So, so I got more questions.
It's not a very. This is not. I don't think one that Andy and I buy for even a second because it makes kind of no sense to us.
Yeah, this is definitely a plausible quantum scenario as well.
Ooh, nice reference. In case you don't know what that is, go check out Mr. Bunker's podcast because they've got a scale of plausibility, and that is one of the scales of the plausibility. Now, there could be. So I was born in '79. Wait, let me just hit the old man button. So that puts me at 40.
So you're the same age as Pink.
yeah, exactly. She's my womb mate. Get it?
Oh God!
yes, I'm a father.
Wah, wah.
They're
But
twins.
So back in the late 70s, there wasn't exactly, and even early 80s, there wasn't a lot of technology in the medical profession to keep track of birth records and stuff like that, especially in remote locations like where I was born in Boone, North Carolina. There's the mountains, good old mountains of North Carolina. There's not really. Even today, I don't think they have one computer in the whole hospital. But no, I'm kidding. Anybody from Boone, I love that place. But there's a possibility. So you guys, before I continue this rant, the two of you know that I love jumping into the conspiracies. If there's a modicum of a possibility of truth, I might be on board. So in this case.
We love it.
Well, you are a Republican, so.
I'm just kidding. I'm independent, sir. I'm independent. Non-party affiliate is what my voter registration card says.
Mine as well.
No, Ron.
My
Back
voter
in the box.
registration card says, "Do not accept checks from this man."
I could almost believe that she's 2 years older than she claims.
Yeah,
I can almost
mean,
believe
I guess
that.
claiming that her sister is actually her daughter that she has as a teen is a little bit scandalous.
That's
and-
the weird
but,
one, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't. She's a little bit older than she says to be. It's like, okay, very cool. She's still fucking Beyonce. I mean,
Yeah.
She's still great and she's still irrelevant. So
Usually,
And still very rich. Hot.
very, very rich.
are you so in this? If this spoils something later in the show, just tell me to shut up and color. But there's a lot of conspiracy around Beyonce being part of, an Illuminati of sorts type of group. Is that portrayed anything into your guys' research for Beyonce's age?
I don't think that there's so much. Obviously, there are those claims that like Beyonce and Jay-Z are part of like a secret society or they've become part of the Illuminati. But I don't know that the age one seems almost completely, to me at least, completely separate from the Illuminati secret society kind of conspiracy or the lizard people type of conspiracy.
Right.
It's sort of like an aside thing, which it's kind of weird that it even caught on, but there was some, it's one of these things that kind of catches on the internet. There's all this stuff that we mentioned. There was speculation about Beyonce's first group, Girls' Time, being actually from a decade earlier, because supposedly one of the people in Girls' Time, you could look up and find that she was actually 10 years older than she claimed she was, but if you Google it, you can't find that. You can only find things referring to a person saying that. Right. So there's no, it's one of those things where it's like, it's out there on Google, and it's like, it's not. Although maybe Google changed the links.
What? Google changing stuff on the internet has that's a whole conspiracy.
That's
of
terrifying.
Its own.
You might have to duck go that.
Yeah, there you go.
Good reference, man. Holy shit. Okay, yeah,
You can tell we're into the conspiracies.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. I just wanted to know if that had any tie-in to this at all, because that's a big rampant side of the conspiracy side of Beyonce and Jay-Z is the Illuminati, the triangle, seeing eye, or whatever the hell it is.
The Satanist in Illuminati imagery and the music videos and whatnot. We'll say this: we did a very grounded list.
Yeah. Okay.
We did a very grounded list, so it's a lot of with a lot of like big name references. So
we're going for the celebrity pull on this.
Yeah,
I like it.
Well, shall we move on to number 8? Is there any other? Should we take all of this Beyonce conspiracy, put it in a box to the left, and move on?
Oh, nice.
I'd like to see Beyonce's box. Yes, please. Oh, is that not the question?
Okay,
Anywhere, to the left, to the right, wherever she wants to show it.
Well, I'm sorry. We didn't come prepared for that part of the show.
Damn it.
I didn't have to break into my stash of celebrity nudes.
Top 10 celebrity boxes.
That'd be a good episode. It'd be a very strange episode because all three of us would be in here. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Carry on.
Wow. Number eight.
You got to rein us in sometimes, gentlemen. You if you've listened to any of our shows, you know we will tangent like hardcore tangenting. So you got to rein us in. This is your show, so you take over. We just say, all right, I'm pulling
like
it down.
Blind leading the blind here, because we can't stay on track either.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Ron, Adam, I think you're gonna like this next one. And I think this is going to give you a little bit of what you want.
But fuck Josh.
Well, no, Josh, you won't like this at all. Josh, you're going to hate this.
Yeah. Cover your ears, Josh.
So let's move on. Let's go to number 8. Jim Morrison is still alive.
Ooh. What? Would he be like 130?
Nah.
I guess he would be
130.
He'd be like 70-something.
Now, Adam, Ron, Jim Morrison, famous for exposing his penis during shows.
That's true.
A lot of people have seen his penis.
You guys are obsessed with these celebrity nudes. We got some right here for you.
All right, well, I'll pass. Give those to Josh. All the dick pics always go to Josh.
All right, Josh, Jim Morrison penis incoming.
All right, perfect. Sign me up.
So Jim Morrison died, supposedly, on July 3rd, 1971 in Paris. The official story, if you will, is that Jim passed away in his bathtub. Rub-a-dub-dub. Jim Morrison died in the tub. The cause of death? Officially ruled natural heart failure. But that's interesting, right? Because they never performed an autopsy. A doctor came to his apartment that he shared with his girlfriend Pam and pretty much said, yeah, he died of heart failure. And they never checked further into it. But there's a lot of speculation that Jim didn't die in the bathtub, but that he might have OD'd at a rock club. So there's a little bit to go on for this one. Marianne Faithfull, the singer, the actress, the one-time girlfriend of Mick Jagger, said that her boyfriend at the time, Jean de Bretuil, gave Jim Morrison the heroin that ultimately killed him. And this story was kind of supported by Sam Burnett, who was the manager at the time of the Parisian Rock and Roll Circus Club. He said Jim didn't die in his apartment, was brought back to the apartment by drug dealers who worked for Jean de Bertril after he overdosed in the bathroom at the Rock and Roll Circus.
Huh, so it's a cover-up. It's rumored to be a cover-up at this point.
This is like a two-prong conspiracy. Part one, that he didn't actually die in his bathtub, that he OD'd at somewhere else and was placed in the bathtub. And then part two is that he's not actually dead at all, that he faked his death, just to get away from fame, that'll be a recurring theme throughout this list.
That's a very recurring theme. We'll say that.
There is a YouTuber who claims that he found the living Jim Morrison, who is now a homeless poet in New York City. This YouTuber calls this homeless guy Morrison, and the man sometimes sings songs or says poems for the camera. And so maybe that's Jim Morrison. But there's also a rumor that Jim Morrison actually moved to Oregon, changed his name to Bill Lawyer.
What?
And then opened the Jim Morrison Sanctuary in Oregon.
Wait a minute. Hang on. There is so much to unravel with this. So first things first.
All right.
The initial piece is sacre bleu. We have a dead celebrity. Throw him in the tub. That's the first part. Okay, that's almost a believable type of. And sorry, I butchered the French
plausible
joke there. But that's almost a believable conspiracy. But the other side of this, the still alive, and then opened a what'd you say, a memorial or a tribute facility for
In
himself?
Oregon.
In
The Jim Morrison Sanctuary.
sanctuary.
It's like a nature type of sanctuary in Oregon.
Right.
I almost find that one more hard to believe than him being killed and thrown into a tub in his hotel so the drug dealers didn't get in trouble in the club. Man.
I mean, if you're trying to escape fame, it seems like a bad move to change your name and then open a facility, public place with your old name.
It's called hiding in plain
Seems
sight.
like that would get people to make the association.
Hey, Bill, you ever anyone ever tell you kind of look like Jim Morrison? Whoa, why would you ever say that?
As he brings his hat lower on his head and
Yeah.
kind of puts on his sunglasses and turns around. Yeah.
He's trying to fix the giant novelty mustache he has on. It's like falling off. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You sure do expose your penis a lot.
You're wearing those tight leather pants. I mean, I don't know. The resemblance is kind of uncanny.
How much heroin do you do?
All right, sanctuary's closed.
Nice.
All right, so I looked it up because I was curious. Jim Morrison, born December 8th, 1943. Means he would be 77 years old
Yeah, I
as
guess
of today.
He'd be in his 70s.
Very plausible.
He could still be
Second
alive.
Very
But
plausible.
what the real thing I'm building up towards is that I just learned he was born in Melbourne.
Yes.
Yeah,
he
he's
was
local
born
here.
in Melbourne, Florida.
local boy.
Yeah.
He went to Melbourne
And, he's
High
a
School.
hometown. Yeah, he's a hometown boy.
I had no idea.
Yeah, isn't that hilarious?
Here.
Yes.
Cool.
That's about
Look at
30 to
that.
45 minutes south of where we're recording right now.
Yeah,
in
it's
our
like
county.
it's one town away from me,
Let's
where
see.
me and Josh live.
Yeah, we're gonna drive through Melbourne to get home tonight.
Yes,
after
we are.
recording.
But-
the birthplace of Jim Morrison.
We might be misleading our guest host tonight. Don't think Brevard County, Florida is a nest for celebrities. The other one is Tosh Point.
No,
He's
we've
from
got
here.
we've got Carrot Top, motherfucker.
You're not helping my case at all.
All right, and then we've got some
Adam
super
is
duper
underselling.
swimsuit model too. Hold on, I'll find her. I don't remember her name.
Of course you will, Ron.
Well, wait,
Ron,
I've got
you
it right
war
here on
dog.
this restraining order. Her name is. Hold on, I'll find her.
I do like that Ron has so many restraining orders. He has to search through them.
He has a
I have them
Rolodex of
cataloged
restraining
in my computer.
He's got a portable database that he
Oh
accesses.
God!
Ron has to use the same software they use in court systems to organize all the restraining orders.
Password protected,
Against
of
him.
course.
Holy shit. So Bill Lawyer, I just pulled up a Google image search for Bill Lawyer.
Why?
I wanted to see what he looked like compared to what Jim Morrison looked like. The dude is pretty close to in appearance.
He does kind of look like him.
Yeah, you can definitely there is some resemblance there. I mean, I will admit, I think Bill Lawyer probably looks more like Jim Morrison than Morrison, the poet from New York City,
Oh, the old guy?
in my opinion. Yeah.
I think I see that guy too. Man, that's kind of uncanny, dude. That is not a stretch. The cheekbones especially are what are just kind of an astonishing appearance to me. Because that is hang on, let me zoom this in for the guys here in studio. And if we were high fashioned and fancy, we would have our big TV up on the wall. Ron, take a look at this.
Instead, it's just sitting on the ground next to me because we
Jim-
haven't hung it up yet.
Yeah, exactly. Jim Morrison's on the left, and Bill Lawyer is on the far right. And that shows like a transition between the two.
I can see your license hanging from your wallet better than I can see that thing on your phone, but that's okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, by the way, Kate
Absolutely
Upton
roasted.
is from Melbourne as well. Thank you very much.
Whoa!
Super hot swimsuit model. Yes.
Jeez,
Yeah.
there's so many celebs.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And Daryl Hammond from Saturday Night Live used to do the Bill Clinton person. Yeah, he went to Mel High as well.
Comedy.
Yeah, so we got a couple hanging around. Probably not as many as I have in
Epicenter
Chicago.
of comedy.
but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This was not Andy. I think at the end of the day, Andy and I were both in agreement that Jim Morrison was a bit of a narcissist, and I don't think if he was alive, he would let it go for that long before he had to come back into the spotlight. I think he was a troubled guy, had a lot of demons, and honestly, the OD story, somewhat. I think I don't remember what score we gave it, but we were probably plausible on it.
Yeah, and if you want to check out the YouTuber who thinks Jim is still alive, the YouTuber's handle is Broken Star. It's with 2 Ks. Broken Star.
You mentioned you guys.
So-
You just said this. You did an episode on it. What was that episode called?
I think this one was part of a roundup of conspiracies
Yes.
related to music, and I think we called it More Music Conspiracies. Because we...
All right, cool. Yeah.
Parentheses, Jim Morrison, and then maybe other things that we might mention later.
I see where you're going with that. One of these days, one of these supposed deaths that people say, oh, they think they faked their death, it's going to turn out to be true. One of these days, sometime, we're 25 years down the way, going to find out that so-and-so we thought was dead was alive. It's going to happen eventually. Don't know when or who, but eventually it's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right about the old guy in New York. That's a stretch. I mean, if it is Jim Morrison, then the beard is grown out to cover up a lot of those facial features, but it doesn't. The eyes just don't look the same. That Bill Lawyer guy or whatever his name was, that's almost spot on for that conspiracy. Ooh, I don't know. That one's. I
think we got our hooks and Adam on this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Hicks and Adam on this one.
that ain't hard though. You wink at me or throw me a little bit of flirty conversation, and you've got me. So you guys
okay,
got
big
me
boy.
a long time ago.
Well, that was number 8, boys. That was Jim Morrison.
And the countdown rolls on.
There we go.
With number 7.
Avril Lavigne might be a clone.
What?
Give me. I want one. Hang on. Give me one.
Where do we sign up? Take my credit card. Take my money.
Oh, wow. Okay, got a couple of skater boys in there.
That's our
Now,
generation.
this is my kind of music. This was the music I listened to.
I never heard of her. Just kidding.
Oh, Adam, why do you have to go and make things so complicated? All right, those are the 2 songs. That's it. That's all I know. Avril Lavigne might have died and was replaced by a clone named Melissa.
It's always a
Melissa Levine?
Melissa Lavigne. Avril apparently hired a lookalike a long time ago named Melissa Vandal to help confuse the paparazzi and other overbearing fans at the height of her fame. And then shortly after writing and recording sessions for her sophomore album, Under My Skin, shortly after those began, Lavigne's grandfather passed away, and the combination of that pressure and plus the pressure of recording an album, a sophomore album, to and she's this worldwide star and she's so famous, it just got to her, and it led to her depression and eventual suicide. But the record label, there's these greedy record labels. You know how they love money. When they got a hit, they just, much like we have our talons in Adam's tender behind, they put their, yeah, that's right. And then they put their talons into their stars and they just milk them dry. The record label then was like, all right, well, fuck it. We'll just have Melissa take over for Avril.
I like that you went with talons for milking.
Yeah, well, how else? Have you ever been to a farm, Andy?
Like a falcon milking a cow or something.
Okay.
I'd pay to see that.
And your point is?
I mean, sure, I'm imagining it a lot at night when I close my eyes.
Well, I'm saying that's how they do it out on the farm.
Okay.
You wouldn't know, city boy.
Well, how else would an eagle milk a cow with its beak? Come on, talons is the only way to go.
Yeah.
Well,
Andy, you dummy.
I met my girlfriend at farmersonly.com, so I'll ask her. Hold on one second.
What the fuck? I love this guy.
All right, so now I
man,
gotta
I'm
look it
taking
up.
you home with
I
me.
gotta look at these two. You said
Here's
her
the-
name was Melissa Fuller. Is that right?
That's right.
Melissa
Look,
Vandal.
You can look
Vandal.
up, just look up Avril Lavigne clone, and theorists have a ton of, I mean, it is hard evidence. Like, for example, if you compare a picture to Avril Lavigne when she was like a teenager at the height of her fame to what she looks like now, she looks a little bit different. Can you believe that? She's got like her nose might be a little bit different. She might have a pimple on one photo and no pimples on the other photo. And honestly, that is the bulk of the evidence is like crappy photos taken of Avril Lavigne when she was a teenager, because she was famous when she was a teenager. That's when all of her big hits were. But comparing them to how Avril Lavigne looks now as like a 30-something-year-old person, possibly
Josh will look that up for us.
Yeah,
Oh,
Josh will look that up. Big time.
I'm also looking up Avril Lavigne photos. I got tangented into some other categories. But no,
I'm sure you did.
I do see. So celebrities, especially celebrities that are in the eye of the paparazzi, carry a certain, most of them, not all of them, carry a certain level of vanity to maintain appearance. So that puts them through multiple plastic surgeries, multiple remodifications of themselves and their body. But there's some things you can't change, like placement of eyes and the camber of the eye in the eye socket, like how it's kind of positioned in the eye socket.
Oh, God, he's getting all Adam on us again. Thought we talked about this guy.
It's true. So there's a side-by-side that shows a younger Avril Lavigne with, kind of a brunette hair and obviously a younger facial feature look, and then an older Avril Lavigne that with blonde hair with just heavier makeup and what is obviously some plastic surgery, or at least it looks like it. But there's
Photoshopping, probably.
it doesn't. I don't know. So the lips are one of the things that you can reshape with plastic surgery, but what you can't replace with plastic surgery is kind of the placement of the teeth inside the head. Not like the location of the teeth, but the jawbone and how the facial structure works. I don't know. This one I might actually not be on board with. It kind of looks like her, guys. The eyes look too close to each other in both of that before and after.
She's got the same exact eyes. I mean, the nose might be a smooch different, but and there's also lighting. There's the different quality of the cameras, the photoshopping, there's a lot of different things that involve these two photos, and I don't think Avril Lavigne had some big hits, but I mean,
She had some
to be
big. She had some big what? I missed that. I was busy.
honest.
Just kidding.
Put your dick away, Adam. You're
Oh,
not Jim
sorry.
Morrison.
Zip it back up.
Jesus.
This is turning into a very erotic show.
Lord, we have an effect on people.
Especially fat dads in
They're
Florida.
horny for us, right?
Yeah, of course.
No, I don't buy this one at all. This one, I think I am case closed on. Actually, is the verdict I would give on this one.
Yeah.
Case closed.
I'm sorry. Like you can't even like cut in line at the grocery store without people in the parking lot hearing about it. Like there's no way somebody that prolific, even
You know what? This
arguably minorly prolific against some of the other names on this list already, can just disappear, and like this whole other person's life would just have to ghost, and like not a single one of her friends went on social media was like, where the fuck is Melissa?
Right.
Fuck her.
or her family or anything.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I
that's a
wasn't
good
even
point.
considering
how come,
Melissa's
how come
side.
Melissa isn't gone missing, considered a missing
point,
person? Exactly. That's
Meanwhile,
a great
she's-
point, Josh.
This girl Melissa's just chilling in California. She's like, I'm right here, guys.
I'm here.
It's not me, obviously. I'm here. I'm pregnant. I'm not that person you're seeing. Huh? Cool.
Yeah.
I like that one. I
Case
like it mostly
closed.
because I got to look at Avril Lavigne photos.
She's a pretty lady.
Let's preface this next one by saying this one caused Andy and I to get a little heated with each other.
Yeah, it came to blows, and this is where the list sort of takes a turning point. I think.
Yeah.
This is where it really ratchets up in the fame of the conspiracy itself,
Big time.
not just the people involved. So let's keep it rolling. Let's go to number 6.
Boy.
Number 6, Stevie Wonder isn't blind.
Yes, I've heard this one before. Yes.
Yeah. See, this one is more a kind of a more popular
Oh yeah.
theory. So there are some people, including other musicians, who think Stevie Wonder, the world famous,
Grammy award-winning,
lifetime
Platinum record artist. Yeah.
musician,
platinum recording artist, one of the most gifted musicians
Of any age.
Of any age.
So Stevie Wonder, famously blind since childhood.
Famously blind.
Famously blind. Some people think not so much.
Who thinks Milli Vanilli? Sorry. It's very
Well, we'll,
dated joke.
We'll get back to you when we talk to them.
It's all right, Ron. You can just blame that on the rain.
Yeah. Oh, nice, nice.
Oh, wow.
Very good.
Yes, very nice. So, there's some evidence for this, actually, and you might have seen some of this before. First of all, at a party, Stevie Wonder playfully choked Boy George.
He walked right up
across
to him,
the
like
room.
across the room, right up to him. Apparently, as Boy George claims,
Yeah.
and playfully choked.
Well,
him, as you do with your friends.
to the defense of Boy George in this situation, even a blind guy can see that much like glamour coming across the room. It is Boy George. Right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
George, a blinding
Yeah.
light, even to the blind. But that's, Boy George says, how did Stevie know I was there?
That's what he said.
How did he know where my neck was?
That's right.
How could he have done this? And why did it feel so good? And then there's more evidence. There is a somewhat famous video of Stevie Wonder performing in the East Room at the White House. It's him and Paul McCartney are on stage together. And Sir Paul makes a move to go to another part of the stage and accidentally kicks a mic stand on his way. And the mic falls over. Stevie seamlessly catches the microphone
Yeah.
without missing a beat.
Yeah.
So obviously, and this is you can watch this video. I mean, there's video footage.
He doesn't only catch it; he ninja snags this fucking thing out of air. I mean, it's on its way down, and Stevie just immediately reacts to grab this thing. Like this peripheral vision kicked in, or non-vision, whatever you want to call it, and then he snagged this fucking thing out of mid. That was an awesome video,
The weird part is the video was shot by Ray Charles.
edited by Avril Lavigne.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that is a weird fact about that video. But now that
bring
you
up that
mention it, Ron. So some other evidence. Stevie often sits courtside at Lakers games.
Why does he need to do that?
You could sit anywhere.
Why does Stevie got to go to the games live? I mean,
That's so awesome. Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
There's also allegations that Stevie Wonder used a camera to take a photo of Michael Jackson. I don't know how he could figure that one out, but I have my eyes. I don't know how to use a camera.
if it's not attached to a phone, I have no idea what I'm doing.
And one of the leading proponents of the Stevie Wonder is not blind camp is sports media personality Bomani Jones.
I know.
journalist
Yeah, I know Bomani Jones.
Bomani.
Well, I mean, why isn't he returning our calls, Ron?
He's very busy.
Yeah, get us an interview. What the fuck?
He's very busy on ESPN. I think he's still on ESPN.
Sure.
People still watch ESPN.
Well, Bomani really believes Stevie Wonder is not blind.
He's really into it.
And he has made the claim that Stevie Wonder was trying hard to get on Dancing with the Stars, which, according to Bomani, why would anyone blind want to be on Dancing with the Stars? But then Bomani has other evidence because he says he knows a guy who sold 3 plasma TVs to Stevie Wonder. Why would Stevie Wonder need a TV? Shouldn't he be more concerned with the audio system than the picture quality?
That's awesome.
So Bomani Jones has a lot of hard-hitting evidence. You can really see the journalism coming through.
Yeah. and honestly, Andy and I were a bit split on this one. I was shocked to learn that Andy was was like, you know what? I think this one might be true. And I was
It's a really
floored.
unusual
was floored.
setup for the two of us. that art doesn't believe something and I kind of do.
So if as far as we're concerned here, I don't know about Ron and Josh. I'll let them speak for themselves on this one. However,
Oh, thanks.
fucker. If this is true, all that does for me would make me appreciate that artist that much more, because not only is he an amazing musician, recording artist, but he's also an amazing actor that never drops character. If that's the case, dude, that is fucking props. You carried that to your grave. Good on you.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a good show. But I want to believe it. I am dead in the middle on this, because some of those things that they've caught on film. I mean, the catching the mic stand, that one's hard to explain. However, a lot of the other ones, it's
Sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry. I was reading some of Bomani Jones' tweets about Stevie Wonder.
oh,
I searched it on Twitter. Yeah, seriously, he's like obsessed with this shit.
Some of the other
He
ones,
calls
though,
himself a Stevie Wonder truther. Like he seriously thinks he's
like a flat earther for Stevie Wonder.
Yes. He is seriously. He even tweet, he goes, hey, look, Stevie Wonder front row for the fight. He's like all kinds of tweets. That's hilarious. I never knew that about him too, because I've watched a lot of Bomani Jones. Never knew that about him.
Some of the other things are easy to pass off, like the taking a picture of Michael Jackson. Okay, I got it. Somebody could just hand him a camera and say, hey, this is a camera, take a picture.
Right.
That's different. But things that require attention, like hugging somebody in focus direct to that person, or catching a mic stand, or reacting to lights. Like I've seen some other videos where, or maybe it was photos or stories or something, where he had reactions to lights being turned on. So there's it. I'm dead in the middle on this one. I love it either way. If he is blind and he never, all this is just a conspiracy, then cool. The guy's still an amazing person. If he is able to see, then he's even more cool to me, because he pulled this off for so many years.
That's one of the best,
He milked
biggest
it.
ruses ever pulled off in the history of our country. That Stevie
100%.
Wonder isn't blind,
What do
can
you
see
guys
the
think?
whole
What do
time.
you think on that one? Just based on what we talked about right now.
I don't know. I watched the video of him catching the mic stand.
Yeah, kind of catching.
I don't know, man. It just like landed on his forearm. I think
know,
if I
it
heard
just kind
somebody
of like his
trip
hand
near
was there and
me-
it kind of fell.
Josh,
It wasn't like he went
Yeah.
for a 10-yard pass and caught it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was just like kind of
He's like,
fell into his
Come on,
hand.
Josh, he
Yeah, and
catches the
I feel
microphone.
like, maybe he's Daredevil. Maybe just by night he just uses his super ultrasonic hearing.
You just started a new a new conspiracy.
You heard it here, number 5.
He's a crime fighter.
that'd be pretty awesome.
Well, fellas, so far, so we're gonna go into break, but so far this is a fucking awesome
This is
list.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun list.
Hell
Definitely.
yeah.
Glad you guys are like it. It's gonna ramp up quick.
Yeah, this is gonna get.
What
We're gonna go.
What was it that
hard.
you guys were fighting about? You said you guys came to blows on the Stevie Wonder thing. Like one of you believes that this is possibility, one of you does not.
Hey, explain that, Ron.
I'll tell you what.
Did they
happened,
for
Ron.
real?
I-
did.
Oh man, sorry, I was like,
Well, so
that
what
happens to me sometimes.
Art
Sorry.
and Andy, what you
Wait,
guys
what?
don't know is that when Ron in studio looks at his phone,
That's it. I hear or see nothing else.
something happens where his headphones just cut off and he hears no more of the show. So that was happening when you guys were giving your explanations of your stories.
Oh man, Ron did it again.
Ron,
Listeners
we're so
right now
glad
are like,
you
"What the
found those
fuck? The
Bomani
dude
Jones
just
tweets
said
out."
that, bro." Okay, never mind. I'll go back and listen to
Well-
the show.
No, Ron serves a very valuable purpose, and that is to look up Bomani Jones tweets whenever they are relevant. And it just happened
Yes.
that they were relevant tonight, and only tonight.
Oh, nice.
Well, hey, so before we go into break, we're going to hear a little Truphonic we got coming up. If you guys, looking to represent a show, if you're having a good time, you're liking it, we got our merch portion back up on the site. So that's up and working again. So twisted10.com shop, .com/shop. Twisted10.com/shop. I can read. I don't know. We got hats and we got shirts and duffel bags. We got all kinds of cool shit in there.
Awesome coffee mug.
Got a cool coffee mug. Some cool shit in there.
And for any of the listeners here that happen to come to us from the Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast, hop into Discord, say hello. Just let us know where you came from, and we'd appreciate that.
Hey, and before we go, I wanted to mention that our merch store is back up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right, we're going to take a break in studio. You're going to listen to a little bit of What's True. This is it's not brand new, but it's new to our listeners, new single from Truphonic. So we'll be back in just a few minutes after the break.
I know you think you treat me good, but you misunderstood. Oh, I've been feeling out of want now. Ooh, but when the clock ticked down to the end of our game, it seemed to be me that you were always trying to blame. Oh, we can't agree on a damn thing, because the look inside your eye is completely insane. I thought that you knew me, all the things that we could be. The truth that will reveal itself, I will wait and see. Now you call my name, saying that you'll change. I hear what you say, but that's not true. Just say what's true. You struggling with your job since you were voodoo. I hear what you say, but that's not true. Just say what's true. So what's true?
Well, today's another day, and from you I couldn't be away. See, you had me wanting to stay, but now I feel a different way. I put you up on a throne, I thought I couldn't be alone. Now I'm singing a different song, 'cause every promise that you made was wrong. So as the clock ticks down to the end of the night, it seems to be you that I'm always trying to find. Weak in my mind, no matter how hard I try, so that the cycle can repeat itself 100 more times. I thought that you knew me, all the things that we could be, or the truth that will reveal itself. Well, I will wait and see.
Time will tell what was real. I won't need time to heal. What's real and what's not true? Now you call my name, saying that you'll change. And I hear what you say, but that's not true. Just say what's true. You struggling with your job since you were voodoo. I hear what you say, but that's not true. Just say what's true. You ripped out my page, that's what's haunting you now. Slept through the rain, but still follows the cloud. Flooded the streets with the words from your mouth. These things never change, disarranging the view. But you still think that I love you. You still think that I love you. Now you call my name, saying that you'll change. And I hear what you say, but that's not true. Just say what's true. You struggling with your job since you were voodoo. I hear what you say, but that's not true. Just say what's true. Yeah. When you don't tell the truth, you ain't showing no respect. I guess I should've known what to expect. But now I know exactly what's best. The truth is the textbook, and life it is the test.
Welcome back to the Twisted 10. Very special guest hosts this week, Art and Andy from Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast. And throwing some love into Discord a little bit, we've got some attention from their bunk funkers hanging out in Discord with us. So listening to the show recorded live.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Hell yeah.
And let's see, that was Truphonic. You said the name of the song before the break.
What's True? And it's spelled WHAT''S, of course, but True, TRU, like their
like the band.
like their band name.
TRU space PHONIC.
Yeah, we're in the future. We're gonna have these guys come in, and we're gonna do a free Discord show where basically we're gonna record some video of them playing some instrumental stuff here in studio, And we may even get a premiere, like a world premiere of their newest album here on the show. So that should be kind of fun.
Wow. Very cool.
There you go.
All right, so what we usually do when we come back from a break is we ask the host to recap the 10 through 6, just not the whole show, just the titles of what each one of the 10 through 6 were to kind of get us back in that mood, get us back in that zone again. So if you guys can recap us for 10 through 6.
All right. So here we go with the list 10 through 6. Number 10. Post Malone is cursed. Number 9. Beyonce's older than she says and might be her sister's mother.
That sounds weird saying it, hearing it come out.
Number 8. Jim Morrison maybe died in a bathroom that wasn't his own and might be still alive.
That one's the most plausible. Just gotta throw that out there.
Number 7. Avril Lavigne is a clone. And number 6. Stevie Wonder isn't blind.
I'm gonna go with that one as the most plausible so far.
You like that one?
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's again. There's no bad there. If he is blind,
Yeah.
oh, all right. So
I'm actually rooting for it.
You want him to be
I'm
visible?
rooting for. I'm going to add it to the Deathbed Confessions. I'm going to do another 10 Deathbed Confessions. Stevie Wonder says he wasn't blind the whole time,
like
right
the
before
Loch
he
Ness
died.
monster,
And then he doesn't die.
and then he doesn't die. He
So-
faked his death as well as his sight.
Yes.
So Andy and Art, we have referenced it a few times, the bunker scale. Are you good? Are you good with me throwing that in our Discord so they can kind of see what we're talking
Sure.
about? And
Absolutely.
maybe just at a high level, if you could just give a breakdown for those listening in their cars at high speed on the highway, kind of what that is, because we've kind of thrown some pretty silly terms out without context.
Well, you're wrong there, Josh. They're not silly terms. The bunker scale is
cool.
a highly scientific. This has been validated by top level scientists. It's a scale of plausibility. It's very official, and we use it, and it goes from one end to another end, like a scale does. And so it starts with the least plausible end. Am I explaining this right? Are you following me? No, it starts with case closed, right? If you don't believe a topic at all, you say case closed. There's no way this is true. This is total bull. Nothing is going on there. And then it slowly slides up until you hit case confirmed, which means 100% without a doubt in my mind. If I had to, like, hand on the Bible, gun to my head, whatever it is, in court, yes, this is true. I believe it without a shred of doubt. But, of course, because Andy and I are non-confrontational and afraid to commit to anything in life, we have to have tons of areas in between that we've created over the years. So you've got, plausible plus, plausible plus and a half, plausible, highly plausible, very plausible. It's like, then we've done like a ton of science-based ones for the negative end. It's very scientific.
Yeah, you'll notice that, the scale gradiates in color from green. The most green is case confirmed, and then the most red is case closed. And you'll notice that there are a few things in the green end, but there's a lot more on the red end, especially clustered at the very end of the scale where we wouldn't go completely case closed.
Ron, they have one called plausible quark, which to you would be like the term, I was as close as a cunt hair.
Gotcha. Why would that just be to me?
Oh, I don't know. Well, we talked about pubes earlier, so it kind of ties in.
Oh, okay. Understood. Quark, like the anatomy of an atom, right? A quark.
Correct. The subatomic particle of a
Yes.
maybe subatomic particle.
Subatomic particle. That would be
It
correct.
is
yes.
subatomic.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And there's actually a layer below quarks now. Quarks are made up of things.
Don't get into the string theory bullshit.
Quarkettes?
Don't go down there. Come on, we are definitely not a string theory podcast. We are a quantum.
mini.
Oh,
I am a quantum
isn't-
guy.
this isn't the twisted string theory podcast? Easy for me to say.
You guys are done, right? You're not going to
Boy.
give us the rest of the list now, huh? You
No,
don't believe
we
in
got-
string theory. We're out.
Yeah,
I believe in the string cheese theory. Thank you. That's my time. Tip your wait staff.
That certainly resonates with us dads in this room. That's for sure.
All right, well, I've interrupted you enough, so please regale us with the rest of your list. I'm excited.
All right. We're going to go on to...
all right, I mean, guys, feel free to judge your plausibility on each one of these topics on the patented bunker
because
scale.
they're about to
if
get
you so
very...
choose.
They're going to get very... These are, like we said, heavy hitters are coming up.
Going to be some heavy hitters. So let's get it rolling. Let's start with number 5.
Number 5 is John Lennon was actually murdered by the CIA.
Ooh.
If you said Yoko, I'd have been there. But CIA,
well,
that's interesting.
Not Yoko, but as the true story goes, or supposedly true story, is that John Lennon was murdered in cold blood by Mark David Chapman. After I believe it was in 1980, I believe, right, Andy? If I'm right about that.
Or 81.
Or 81, one of the two, and it was right after he kind of... John Lennon had taken a break from music between 1975 and 1980 to kind of raise his son that he had with Yoko, Sean, and he literally stepped out of the spotlight. And then Mark David Chapman, of course, was a kind of a very troubled individual for a lot of his life, was obsessed with the book The Catcher in the Rye, as well as some very hardcore Christian beliefs. And his obsession with The Catcher in the Rye led him to believe that he had to kind of, if you're not familiar with that book, there's the main character or the protagonist of the book, Holden Caulfield, is obsessed with phonies and these adults who say one thing but then do another, right? And he believed that John Lennon had kind of become that. John Lennon famously, the song Imagine, but here he is living in the Dakota, this very expensive apartment complex right off of Central Park in Manhattan. Lavish life, travels all over the world, incredibly rich and famous. So Mark David Chapman murdered him outside of his hotel, shot him with hollow point rounds out of a 38, I think, revolver, like point blank, and Lennon died shortly after. But some believe that actually Mark David Chapman wasn't aware that he was doing that. He was actually a Manchurian candidate. He was MK Ultra. That means he was mind controlled. He was programmed specifically to go and kill John Lennon. And why? Well, it's an actual very true fact. This is the kernel of truth, that John Lennon was profiled by the FBI and CIA through the early Nixon administration in the early 1970s. It's actually true. The Nixon administration put John Lennon on a sort of watch list because John Lennon was, after the Beatles started getting really involved in what would be considered radical leftist politics of the time, he started making friends with a lot of I'm blanking on the name from the one in Michigan, Andy. Do you have it off the top of your head? The one who we sing a song about?
No, I don't recall.
We can look it up we can look it up here in a minute, but there was a singer-songwriter out of Michigan who was put in jail for selling weed, and John Lennon wrote a song for him and was working with the Black Panther Party and doing all this other stuff, and was very anti-war publicly in a time when a lot of people actually didn't do that. And so the other thing that the Nixon administration did was they sent the immigration department after him, tried to get him deported.
After Lennon?
So, I'm sorry?
They sent the immigration department after Lennon to try to get him deported, back to the UK?
Yep, because in the UK, John Lennon had pleaded guilty to possession of hash, which he claims was like a planted thing, that they planted hash on him, and then he was like, I'll just take the guilty plea and the $100 fine rather than trying to fight this thing. But at the time, in the 70s, you could not get a... Because I think at the time, John Lennon was also... He had a green card. He was on a visa. And so it was... he was trying to get American citizenship, but you were not allowed to have that if you had a prior drug conviction from a different country.
Just to call back briefly, the the name of the guy John Lennon helped free from prison was John Sinclair. allegedly
John Sinclair.
helped free from prison was John Sinclair.
John Sinclair, that's right. And so, pretty much, Nixon hit him with that, and then John Lennon kind of spent like 1972 to like 1975 fighting a legal battle in court. And, what we kind of covered with this topic and the things that, like, there is some kernel of truth, right? He was put on a list. Nixon was after him. Nixon, and there's like official documents that talk about how John Lennon needs to be watched. Former Nixon and FBI officials have talked about that. Yeah, we had to like keep an eye on him. His phones were tapped. He was followed in cars. That's all very true and documented. But the question is, would Nixon or the CIA send a Manchurian candidate to murder him 5 years later? That's the question.
He knows too much.
Seems kind of like, well, that's exactly right. It seems kind of a much ado about nothing. So let's say that Nixon just had a hard-on for getting rid of Lennon. What does Lennon know?
Nixon was a complete paranoid maniac. He thought everyone was out to get him. He wanted to go after any person had even said one little word that was anti-Nixon. That's what Watergate was all about. He was completely paranoid. He wanted to know what information the Democratic Party had on him. That's why the whole Watergate thing went down. It is not even close to a surprise that Nixon... Now, killing him, that's one thing. But that he would be having him followed and want to get rid of him. Nixon was that way about everybody, and he would try and use the FBI or the CIA or anybody he could to get his work. That's just how he was.
I understand that the big war on drugs was really a Reagan-era thing.
Definitely.
I understand that Reagan really... stormed the castles or whatever you want to call it for the war on drugs and really got Congress to approve all of the funding that was obviously a waste of an investment, and we lost that war a long time ago. However, wasn't Nixon kind of the original conception president for the war on drugs? Because prior to that, it wasn't really
a little bit.
There wasn't really a big focus on like weed, just simple drugs like weed, but also like the heavier drugs. There wasn't really a heavy focus since Prohibition on illegal narcotics or any of those types of products, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there, because where I'm kind of going with this is we all know that the Beatles weren't really good until White Album hit, and that's when they were all fucking baked. So maybe there's a correlation to his hatred of drugs tied into the Beatles' popularity with White Album.
There's a piece of the puzzle that I did fail to mention was that John Lennon and a bunch of other revolutionaries were planning this big like cross-country. They were going to follow Nixon on his re-election campaign and protest and play like music and hippie out wherever he stopped, culminating with a giant protest of the like Republican National Convention in 1972, I want to say. 73, 72. And so that's the main reason why Nixon was like, I got to get this guy the fuck out of here. Let me hit him with this immigration thing. Let's go after him. And then pretty much immediately after Nixon won re-election, he stopped caring about John Lennon 100%.
He had Watergate to deal with
away
at that moment.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the beginning and the end. He spent the rest of his presidency dealing with Watergate.
Discord checking in. That tracks with me. Passes the smell test. Nixon killed Lennon. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, he actually did. He did have some kind of speech about considering drugs public enemy number one at some point. I don't know where he took it
Ron,
beyond that.
Thank you. I was gonna say the same thing. Nixon made a speech in I think 1971, declared drugs public enemy number one, and that's sort of the genesis of the war on drugs is with Nixon.
So you were right,
Reagan's,
Adam, in that
Reagan's war on
when you were
drugs is
speaking
sort
to
of
Nixon, maybe kind of being the originator. But again, he got. Once the election came, when it came and went, the rest of his presidency was consumed.
Every president since
consumed in Watergate. He could do nothing or accomplish nothing else.
Yeah,
And then Vietnam. I mean, between those two, forget it.
Yeah,
he was
he had a rough presidency. He fucked up. Got it. But he
caused
also had a pretty
himself
rough
some of that rough
presidency.
presidency.
I want Ron's pubes.
I am not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
This one's kind of hard. So if we're going to give, is there any more information you guys want to give on that one before we give our bunker scale from here, us in the studio?
No, you got the gist of it.
Okay.
Basically, Mark David Chapman
Well,
killed John Lennon.
here's the thing
There
about
was some
Mark David
surveillance.
Chapman. Long history of mental, illnesses. Very, a lot of people say like, well, Mark David Chapman moved around. He took like this random like 6-week vacation out of the blue. He was not like a very wealthy guy. He grew up in meager means and was like working as a security guard in Hawaii. And then suddenly took like a 6-week vacation. He went all over the world, went to Beirut, wink, wink, where the CIA had a lot of things going on, especially during that time. He went to like all these different kind of random places for like a 6-week vacation, just traveling around. So a lot of people point to that. But then also, Mark David Chapman, long history of abuse in and out of a few different institutions, tried to take his own life a few different occasions. And so, you gotta get all the info.
What year was Nixon president?
Like 68 to 73 or 4. I mean, whenever he resigned.
Yeah.
I'm not
Lennon
sure
was
when he
killed
resigned.
when?
1980. Thank you, T, for providing the exact date in the Discord.
Do I have that right? I think I have the Nixon years right.
So Nixon,
Somewhere in
I
there.
don't know.
5 years later. And then
Okay.
literally as soon as Nixon won re-election, they took John Lennon off all the lists. They took him off the surveillance.
So he was still
they
the-
stopped caring. They got
Okay.
their re-election. That's all they cared about.
So Nixon was still president in 80 then, theoretically, right?
No.
No?
No. It was like 74,
resigned
75, somewhere in there. That
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ron is right. He resigned in 74.
John
yeah, and
eventually
then Ford,
won the
Gerald
immigration.
Ford took over, I think, or was
so we're-
it Johnson?
We're almost at the
I can't
point
remember.
now
Ford.
where Freedom of Information Act would have documents classified at certain levels released to us and available to the general public. And there's so many Beatles fans that this would definitely be, anything with the name John Lennon in it would definitely make a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act request. So odds are that the time frame is not quite yet to us for the information being publicly released. So that kind of adds a little bit to me to know that date hasn't hit us yet. Probably still have another 5 or 10 years before that hits us. I'll go ahead and throw my first guess out there on the bunker scale. I'm going to go with a plausible plus on this.
Yeah.
There's-
That's exactly where I am too.
There's-
Plausible plus. Plausible plus.
There's enough information and coincidences there to where I would believe heavier that the governments of the U.S. were involved in a conspiracy to murder John Lennon. I don't know if I'd go to the extremes of a mind control type of MK Ultra approach. That one would be a little bit probably less valued to me on the bunker scale, but I would believe that they would, go through and recruit some poor security guard who doesn't have much going on in his life to do something like this. I certainly would. What about you, Josh?
All right.
So I'm actually on board with you guys. I'm in the plausible plus as well, because I mean, I know
Was not expecting that.
Good
Lord.
I know. I see, but I have absolute faith that our government will suicide people for their own benefit. I believe that is a case confirmed conspiracy theory for me. So that being said, the idea that someone was on a list leading prominent leading political party movements could be hated and come down upon. I mean, we saw it as recently as last year, right? I hate to bring that up. We try to avoid that, but like we've seen it in our lifetimes where people have just been made to disappear for speaking out against the prominent leader at the time. So yeah, plausible plus for me.
Wow. Very plausible verdicts. T, where do you come on the verdict? Are you case
Don't come on the verdict.
It sounded like that.
What the fuck?
T, case confirmed, huh? We'll see.
We'll see.
To be continued.
He'll chime in here in a moment.
So, in the meantime, let's keep this countdown rolling on to number 4. Tupac is still alive.
Machiavelli.
I was
Machiavelli. Sorry.
I knew when you guys announced the title,
Yeah.
there's 2 artists that I just know will make it in there. Tupac, and I'm not going to say the name of the other because I'm sure it'll be in
Thank you
there.
very much.
But what's wrong? Don't spoil it. What are you doing?
don't know the list.
We'll
I'm
edit
just
that out
guessing.
in post. Don't worry. No, we won't edit anything.
Ron
I'm
was
so
just
fucking
making a
excited
reference.
about Tupac. That's excited. By the way, plausible plus for sure out of T for just John Lennon conspiracy.
Wow, okay. Thank you, T. A lot of plausible pluses.
Wow.
Tupac,
Plus,
case
plus.
confirmed, number 3. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, lay it on us.
All right. So, Tupac Shakur, of course, the famous rapper, was shot 4 times on September 17th in 1996 in Las Vegas, following watching a fight with, he was with Suge Knight. And if you know Suge Knight is one of the people behind Death Row Records. And
if you know anything about Suge Knight, if it's not his Beanie Baby collection, it's the fact that he started Death Row Records.
I just have to ask, have you ever heard a person more often referred to as a mogul than Suge Knight?
P. Diddy.
Okay, that's fair. Anyway,
Got
Suge
him.
Knight, Death Row Records mogul. They were together in a car. Another car pulled alongside and fired shots into what was Suge Knight's vehicle. 4 shots hit Tupac.
The Knight Rider.
That's what he called it.
I'm sorry. Continue, Andy. That's so stupid.
Yeah, but it didn't run so well because it had sugar in the gas tank.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that deserves it. That deserves the full walk.
Badge of honor. So 4 shots hit Tupac. And Suge Knight got grazed. Basically, he got essentially a bullet went into his head, but he got grazed. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, so quit complaining about it, Suge Knight. We don't want to hear it.
So anyway, Tupac then died on September 13th, 1996, after his mother decided to stop treatment. He'd been in a hospital since then. So after Tupac died, his mother made the statement that Tupac, quote, chose to leave quietly, end quote. Ooh. And there has been speculation ever since that perhaps Tupac did not die. You see, some of the speculation even comes from Suge Knight's family. Like Suge Knight's son recently claimed in October of 2018 that Tupac is alive and well in Malaysia. Suge Knight Jr. Made some social media posts where he said things like Tupac is alive and he never left us, along with presumably photoshopped pictures of Tupac posing with 50 Cent and Beyonce, other list topic here. Suge Jr. Implied that the Illuminati had silenced Tupac and were now after Suge Knight Jr. for quote-unquote saying too much.
Wow.
Then in January 2019, so just a few months later, Knight Jr. doubled down on the allegations, saying that Tupac was quote-unquote back in the studio with new music coming, and announced that he needed the hottest producer to work on a project for Pac.
Sorry.
What?
Nothing. Just keep going.
Okay. So then Suge Knight Jr. later, I'm sorry to pull the rug out from under
I know.
everybody
They're
here.
listening intently to these Suge Knight Jr. claims.
Suge Knight Jr. then recanted all these claims, implying instead that unreleased material from Tupac would be released, but also saying that you have to watch his TV show where he's a realtor to find out what he meant by all of it.
Fucking cheeseball. That's what that is.
Yeah.
But it's not just Suge Knight's son who's making these claims. Suge Knight himself has also cast some doubt on Tupac's death.
Fellow daddy.
Suge Knight said this, quote, "When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking, so I don't see how somebody could turn from doing well to doing bad," end quote. Interesting. Suge Knight also revealed that Tupac talked about faking his own death before he died. Suge said, "We was in Maui. You know what I mean?" Which, I guess.
That is some code for some shit right there. You know,
I mean, I guess
you know that
you
something,
were in Maui?
something had
I'm
to have
laughing
happened
at
in Hawaii to those guys.
I'm laughing at listening to you.
I know. This is the
Say
worst
Suge Knight's
possible,
quote.
worst possible channeling of Suge Knight.
You know what I mean?
We was
Sound like Butters when he becomes
There's going to be a drop on their soundboard of me reading this quote to go with Ron's Black and Mild. We was in Maui, you know what I mean? And Pac had never been to Maui, and he got to talking about faking his own death. And Pac was more down for doing the last little videos and shit of him dying, all in the white. You know what I'm saying? With Red Fox and everybody like that. So
Red Fox.
Case confirmed. That's
Yeah,
that's quotes like that.
Suge Knight said. So after Tupac died, he was very quickly cremated the day after in a private ceremony, and Suge Knight reportedly paid $3 million to secure this venue for the ceremony. The cremator listed Tupac's body as being 72 inches or 6 feet and his weight as 215 pounds, while Pac's driver's license identified him as 5'10" and 168
I was gonna say he is nowhere over 200 pounds. He
No.
was never that big.
But he was beefy.
So they
Fellas?
grilled a cow. That's bizarre. That's so. Where's the I'm trying to understand where the conspiracy angle for that is. Like, for example, with Lennon, another amazing musician. There's heavy conspiracy associated with the U.S. government in that situation, being the anti-right-wing movement that Lennon and his supporters were on. Where's the advantageous reason to fake a death in this situation, or to conceal Tupac? Who wins there?
I know the answer.
Adam, king of the segue, because buckle up.
We've
Oh,
all
you guys
seen
were
Adam
done.
driving around on
You
a
are-
Segway.
My bad. You weren't done
If
yet.
Tu- No, there's more. If Tupac's not dead, what's he up to? Maybe he's in Cuba.
Maybe.
Cuba.
Tupac's aunt is a political activist and a former Black Liberation Army member, Assata Shakur, who was granted political asylum in Cuba in 1984 after fleeing prison in the USA. The story goes that Tupac went to join his aunt in Cuba to escape the high-profile life of a rapper. Now, to add a little fuel to this fire, Tupac's alleged bodyguard, Michael Nice, claimed...
Such a nice guy.
He's such a nice guy, and you'll see why. Claimed he helped Tupac fake his death and smuggled Tupac to Cuba. As an interesting aside, Michael Nice himself supposedly died in 2018. Reports of him dying made the media, but he later posted a YouTube video claiming he faked his death.
to prove
because-
that Tupac faked his death.
Oh my God.
Well, he said he faked his death because he was receiving death threats before planning to release evidence to show Tupac was still alive. So he faked his death, but he does say in the YouTube video that he used the same techniques that he used to help Tupac fake his death and smuggle him out of the country. He did the same thing with himself. And then he came back pledging to, I guess, revenge on the people who threatened him and also to make things right about Tupac.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
And now he lives off the YouTube ad revenue.
Exactly. To my knowledge, nothing else has been released. So a little some more on this, because this is a big theory, honestly, with a lot of little arms. So filmmaker Rick Boss made a movie called Tupac: The Great Escape from UMC, where he makes the claim that Tupac knew there would be an attempt on his life that night in Las Vegas, so he had a body double in the car the night of the shooting. Tupac took a helicopter to New Mexico, where he stayed on Navajo tribal land out of the reach of U.S. authorities. And since the time of Tupac's death, there have been reports that he's been alive in Somalia. He's been allegedly photographed in Cuba in 2018, partying with Rihanna. And in 2019, he was sighted in South Africa, appearing in a couple of YouTube videos. So he's been all over the place. And I heard you guys mention this one. There's also the Machiavelli Casanova theory
Yes.
on Tupac's death. It sounds like you guys are already familiar with this. So Tupac apparently was a big fan, admirer of Machiavelli, the Renaissance philosopher, Italian philosopher. Machiavelli was an advocate of faking your own death to gain an advantage over your enemies. Tupac's final album, which, I guess you could call his first posthumous album, was released 8 weeks after Tupac died under pseudonym Machiavelli, which is an anagram. If you rearrange the letters, am alive, K.
Whoa.
Really?
But
Am
wait.
alive K. Huh.
But wait,
There's more.
K is short for Casanova the Don, who might be Tupac's new alias. Casanova the Don has collaborated with members of Tupac's rap crew, and also released a song called Mystery in 2012, which has lyrics that kind of indicate Tupac didn't get shot and was replaced by a body double.
Wow.
And also, I just want to point out from the Discord, Hempman mentioned that Tupac is alive in Jamaica. So we don't have any more evidence on that, but if Hempman says it, I believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
I
that's
had
it.
to Google. I had to Google Casanova the Don. I had never heard the Casanova the Don reference before as an alias of Tupac, because I was going to ask you guys, artists that are that skilled, all right, regardless if you like rap or not, the dude had an amazing ability to rhyme and write, and he was an entertainer. Those types of artists crave the ability to entertain. Maybe not the money, so don't take the money out of it, but crave entertaining people. So I was wondering if he's been alive this whole time. He has to have been releasing something through some kind of alias or pseudonym or some kind of weird,
I mean, there was Tupac songs being released like what 6, 7, 8 years after his death. They were still
Yeah, there were a
releasing
lot of-
album after
Well,
album.
that's like
it could
Prince,
have been.
though.
Yeah.
So after Prince died, Prince has thousands
Dude,
of
they
songs.
could release Prince albums for 50 years.
Unless
if they put it together.
Maybe we need to put a cap on that. Maybe Prince is one of the next ones.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
never know. You never know. I gotta watch. I pulled up
We'll
a bunch
find
of
out.
YouTube videos. I'm not gonna play them on the show, but I'm gonna have to go watch Casanova the Don. I've never heard of that, and that's got me fucking fascinated. That is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if it is
it's a pretty
Casanova
wild
the
theory.
Don, then that means he has got the best tattoo removal technician of all time.
Yeah, the main connection to Casanova is more of the style, like the rap style, the flow and the lyrical content. I think is more of what people draw as a connection back to Tupac. And obviously then there's the collaboration with some of the Outlaws.
Oh, dude, that's pretty impressive. That's
All right, Black and
I
Mild.
can see these guys are getting tantalized by this one.
These guys are into this one. They're liking this one a lot.
dude. I am. I'm a big fan of Tupac. I say a big fan. I'm a fan of Tupac's rap, but I never knew the details, the intricacies of the conspiracy behind Tupac's death and maybe not death. I've known that Tupac's alive is kind of a meme that's and a hashtag that's been going on for years and years and years. In fact, when they did, I don't remember. I think it was Snoop who did a Tupac performance where he had Tupac on stage as a hologram sort of thing that was really cool. I mean, it really made the audience happy, but it's also a little bit distasteful if you're bringing a dead guy up to do a performance. I don't know. That's a personal preference type of thing. Some people love it. Some people are weirded out by it.
What
But,
about,
yeah.
I mean, tanging in a little, what about the fact that they're going to be putting Paul Walker in Fast and Furious 10?
I don't like it.
I know, I feel
really
weirded
don't.
out by it too, but I didn't want to tangent. I just thought I'd throw that
Well,
out
I
there.
mean, to be fair, they aren't doing a hologram. It's just his dead body that's in the movie.
Oh, okay. It's like a Weekend at Bernie's scenario.
Right.
You've got somebody pushing the gas pedals and somebody holding his arms on the
Exactly.
steering wheel, taping.
Awesome.
Weekend at Vin Diesel's.
Now there's a weekend. Do you guys mind if I put a little extra conspiracy mustard on this?
Fucking do it.
Yeah, put your mustard all over it.
So if you do believe that there's also alternative theories about Tupac where he died, but that it's not just, the case has never been solved. So that's another piece of this. We're obviously for the list. Oh, this might be a twist. Is this a twist? Does this count?
It's your show. If it's a twist, call
Okay,
it.
here's a twist. We're showcasing that Tupac might still be alive, but there's a lot of theories about his death too, including one that Suge Knight actually called a hit on Tupac because Tupac was planning to leave Death Row Records and start his own label. And so Suge Knight didn't want to lose one of his best artists.
But he still lost him. How does killing him help?
We killed him softly.
Didn't lose him.
Killing
yeah, no.
Oh.
Ron, what did we say about Avril Lavigne? These record labels, they get their hooks in their tender buttocks and they just milk you for everything you're worth.
That's what you do. You milk them through the buttocks.
Well, but hang on. So
with your talons.
that was the sound drop. Milk him through the buttocks. That right there is probably going to make the soundboard.
Oh man, that got me. That tickled me.
All right, so
Good God.
I don't even know where I was going with this.
I don't think you were going anywhere.
No, I
That's
was.
their list. Just throw it back to them.
All right. Okay.
I hope when Art dies, that's on his tombstone. Milk him through the buttocks.
I hope that's how I die.
Yeah, I guess I do too, frankly.
Wait, wasn't that an episode of where Stifler went to the sperm clinic and she milked him through the prostate, through the buttocks, and made it? Oh man,
That was the porn you watched last
is that
night.
a porn I
bro.
watched? Okay,
Nice.
I'm onto something.
No.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Should we jump to the next one here? Or we,
Well,
Well, let's give our rulings.
You got to do our bunker
Yeah,
scale.
yeah,
over
give us our
here.
bunker
so,
scale. Let's hear some verdicts.
so
I'll
Ron,
go
take it away.
last on this
I'm
one,
gonna
yeah.
do plausibility -1.5.
Wow. Okay.
Is that it? You're gonna defend it, or you're just gonna?
No, I'm just giving it.
Nah, that's a no from me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at with it.
I'm gonna be on the lower end of the scale too. I love the whimsy that Tupac might be alive, but it's pretty low for me. Like again, same thing. It's just been too long. Like if the only person who's come out and said like, yeah, I'm here with them taking pictures is like trying to push a TV show, like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm a skeptic.
Yeah.
So you're plausible
Lot of
-1.5
grifters.
on this one as well.
I'm like
Minus,
smidge.
it sounds like
Oh,
to me.
smidge.
Oh, smidge. Okay.
Low, yeah.
Getting into
I think
that-
this is,
that
this
part
is
of the
people just grasping at straws that reality is more fanciful than it really is.
Oh, okay. I would like to reserve a judgment, but I can't because this is a live show, so I'm going to have to make one here. I was going to say there's new pieces of evidence that I've ever heard on the Tupac conspiracy that I want to go research, like some of these videos of him appearing, some of this Santa Claus the Don. What was the guy's
Casanova
name?
the
Casanova
Don?
the Don. So I'm going to have to go.
Santa Claus the
Santa
Don.
Claus.
Santa Claus the Don is my rap alter ego.
So I'm gonna have to. I want to go watch those, and actually read about them. However, the part that really ties in the possibility to me here is if Suge Knight controlled the recording label, and recording labels, as we all know, are greedy. They could have concocted this idea because just like in Bradley Noel with Sublime's albums, after death, posthumous, whatever the word is, those are always mega sells for the record labels, and in this case would have done tremendous sales for Suge Knight and the record label that held Tupac's property. So I see that as a possibility. However, I don't know if it's enough to sway me into the green. I may be dead. I may be dead even on this one, boys. I don't know. I don't think I have enough information.
You can go straight plausible. Plausible is a verdict.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not one that we usually want to hit because it's kind of a cheap one,
Adam.
but you can do it.
It's kind of a cop out. It makes you kind of a loser if you use it, but it is out there. It is available, and I do use it a lot.
And you are in good company because we're both losers who use it a lot.
Well, as one of the my favorite bands in hell, I'll be in good company. That's the Dead South. I'm gonna go plausible. Dead in the middle.
Wow.
I really can't make
There
a
you go.
decision here.
There you go.
good
It's all right.
verdict.
If
It's
you're
a good
deadlocked, that's okay.
it's a good verdict.
That's okay. It's fine. Now, I think this next one, I think we're going to get some greens.
Ooh.
I'm going to say that. I'm just going to throw that out there.
That's what I'm
With
talking
this
about.
next one, I think we're going to be having it's going to be a little green, don't you think? Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I think this will be
Could
good.
it
So
be
let's-
Super Green? Come on, what movie?
No idea.
Super Green.
Don't know.
Anybody?
Say it a third time.
Green Lantern.
Fifth Element.
Oh, I don't know. Never seen that movie.
Oh, wow.
I have seen Fifth Element.
Long
I don't
time
get it.
since I've seen it.
I missed it.
Okay.
Long time.
Sorry. Lost.
Is that
bet.
Chris Tucker's?
That's Chris Tucker's
Yeah,
character.
just the
in
way
it.
you said it, it sounded like Chris Tucker.
Oh, okay. There you
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Off to
very
you guys.
Cool. Green Lantern. Let's move on. Number 3.
Number 3.
Courtney Love had Kurt Cobain killed.
Yes. Green. Case
Now here-
confirmed. I am 100% on board with this one.
Here we go.
No more information needed.
Official story for all of you who weren't an angsty teen like myself listening to Nirvana. Cobain escaped from a rehab center on April 2nd, and on the 3rd he was spotted in numerous locations around Seattle. On April 3rd, Courtney Love contacted private investigator Tom Grant, who made a large documentary where the bulk of this comes from Soaked in Bleach. Tom Grant, and hired him to find Cobain. Courtney Love thought that Kurt was missing, hired him to find Kurt Cobain. So Tom Grant goes off and tries to find Kurt Cobain. More on Tom later. On April 8th, Cobain's body was discovered at his Lake Washington Boulevard home in the room above the, like, it's kind of like above their, I think it's called like the green room or the greenhouse. It's like this room kind of above the garage. He was discovered by an electrician named Gary Smith, who had arrived to install a security system at the home. Cobain's body had been lying there for days. The coroner's report estimated that Cobain probably died on April 5th, 1994. So between the 3rd and the 5th, and then suddenly he's dead, and then he wasn't discovered until 3 days later on the 8th. And he died at the age of 27 from self-inflicted gunshot wounds.
Famous 27s.
What are the famous 27s? I believe Tupac was also, I want to say 27 as well. He's another in the 27 club.
Jim Morrison,
Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
All died at 27. It's amazing.
those are the only people that have ever
It's
died.
a very weird coincidence. Now, what is a weird coincidence? What is the weird coincidence with this case?
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse is another one. Great one, Andy.
Ah, that's right.
And what is actually maybe fudged evidence with this case? So, we're not going to go into too much detail, but here's the main issues that Tom Grant and other who believe this conspiracy have with Kurt's death. There is a stool that was allegedly blocking the door from the inside, which would not allow the door was like locked, I think from the outside, but then also there was like a stool blocking the door, and it's sort of like, well, then how is the door locked? That means that somebody like put the stool there and then like,
Jumped out the window
door
or
from
something.
the outside. Yeah, because there's like two different entrances for this. There's like a balcony entrance and then an entrance to the house to get to the room. But anyway, there's some very shoddy police work with this. They didn't really take any, like, they took photos, but those photos have like never really weren't released until a long time later. They didn't really they like immediately called it a suicide. They did not look into it being a possible homicide at all. They didn't do like any sort of, they went outside of routine procedure for this. Immediately labeled it a suicide. Didn't even like have it like ran for a toxicology or anything. They just were like, yep, clearly suicide. The shotgun shells are on Kurt Cobain. If you look at the way that he would have had to have used the shotgun to, obviously the little morbid here. Apologize to all the listeners, but to put the shotgun barrel into his mouth, he would have had to have turned the gun with the trigger facing up towards the ceiling, and then pulled it, the trigger. But then the cartridge dislodged for the shotgun shell, would have popped the shells, I think, let's just say for the sake of the story, because I didn't put it in the notes, to the right. But the shells were on the left. Well, it would have been like almost physically impossible for Kurt to put the gun and shoot himself with the trigger not facing towards the ceiling, but towards the floor.
Do you have the name of the shotgun, like the model? Because that's
I can look it
Red
up.
Ryder BB
or
gun.
Andy can grab
It's
it.
not the Red Rider. That's kind of important to the story too. I fucking
am.
love that this is in your guys' list, because this is one of my favorite conspiracies of
Yeah.
all time. Because I'm a Courtney
is a
Love
good
fan
one.
too, but I'm especially a Nirvana fan.
Well, I have some thoughts and I have some things to say, but the toxicology report, after it was eventually ran later, indicates absurd levels of heroin in Kurt Cobain's system. So much heroin, in fact, that it was theorized that as soon as he would have been injected with it, there's no way he could have been conscious enough to load a gun and shoot himself. Also, pen a suicide letter, which I will get to right now. The suicide note has been ran through multiple different people who were very close to Kurt and Courtney. Both said that they do not believe that is Kurt Cobain's handwriting. The suicide note, the language of it, and the way he talks about it, it does not seem like Kurt's writing at all. The suicide note is like a page long, and mostly he's talking about like himself and his music and how sorry he is, and he doesn't talk about his family or his his daughter until the very end. And Kurt Cobain was he loved Frances, his daughter, more than almost anything in the world. And it seems very out of place for him to not mention her until the very last sentence. Andy, you have something to say?
A Remington Model 11 20-gauge shotgun.
If you Google that, look at the length of this thing.
Hey.
It's a very long shotgun.
Yeah, I did.
And that's probably why they say that it would have been like physically impossible for him to shoot it in a way where those shells land in that specific spot, because he would have to have like cracked his wrist, and like what the movie says is that his wrist, the knuckles of his hand, his first row of knuckles would have had to have been touching the back of his arm for him to shoot the gun if the trigger was not facing
There's another podcast that I listen to here in the Central Florida area that jokes about Kurt Cobain's death is that he is the only person to ever kill himself with his big toe, because it's the fucking trigger is so far away from the barrel of the shotgun that you would almost have to use a toe or something to pull the trigger because it's so fucking far. It's ridiculous.
And Kurt was not a big guy either. Kurt was he was not a very tall guy. He was like 5'7", 5'6".
Yeah, you can Google, photos with authorities, like the police took photos of it, and it's like with a police officer holding the shotgun, like, so you get an idea of,
and those were
compared to a human being, how long the shotgun
those
is.
photos were just released of the cop holding the actual gun from the day of the the investigation. Those were just released like this year. Those were very recently released photos.
They did not want to release the photos for the longest time until people really started to put pressure on them. The Soaked in Bleach documentary has the Seattle lead police chief, the guy who basically oversaw this investigation during that time. He has now since retired. He is on the documentary on record saying, if I was still on the police force today, I would reopen this investigation. Full stop.
Damn.
He has said that. Now, let's get into the probably one of the other big reasons why this conspiracy has really taken off. Not only that Kurt Cobain and Nirvana's music was so incredibly popular during the time and meant so much to so many people, but Courtney Love does not help her case, because she is a chaotic mess and was a chaotic mess throughout this investigation.
Oh, yeah.
Courtney Love contacted Tom Green. Tom Green.
Tom Green. I'm
sorry, Tom Green.
The guy from
Tom Green was.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. For some reason, the investigation stalled.
Tom Green was too busy doing his offbeat comedy. No, Tom Grant had the wherewithal. He was like, "This is a high profile case. I'm going to record every conversation that I have on an audio tape with Courtney Love," and he plays a lot of these audio tapes throughout the documentary. And Courtney Love says some incredibly damning things where she's like rambling and talking about this stuff. And it's like her husband went missing on April 3rd. And it is like April 5th or whatever, a couple days later. And Tom is like trying so hard to like talk to Courtney and be like, where can I go next? Do you have any other information for me? Is there anything else you think about? And like Courtney's sitting there being like, running through these scenarios of like, well, I'll just say that Kurt was going to divorce me, and then everybody will feel really bad about me. How's that for a tabloid spin? She was like totally self-involved, and basically what the documentary kind of gets into, long story short, is that Kurt was allegedly planning a divorce. He was planning to divorce Courtney, and Kurt had a prenup with Courtney Love, in which the prenup stated that Courtney Love did not get all the royalties upon Kurt's death. I'm sorry. If they got divorced, she did not get a penny from any of the Nirvana money. But if Kurt died while they were still married, she would get everything.
Yeah, that's
the theory
insane.
goes is that she had one of their local Seattle friends who was longtime friend but also heavy heroin addict. Kurt went to his home on like April 5th or whatever. They had him shoot up that insane amount of heroin. They killed him with a shotgun, planted it to make it look like it was a suicide. Kurt was a well-known heroin abuser. He had allegedly attempted suicide in Rome, which has been debunked by some of the doctors and a few other people. So, that's why the police, I think, kind of wrapped it up as, it's just a suicide. It was seamlessly planned. Courtney Love seems very uninterested in actually finding her husband. In fact, Tom Grant went with one of Courtney Love's friends to Kurt Cobain's house. Let's say it was April 4th or April 7th, the day before his body was found on April 8th. And was there looking at it. And then sort of the next day when he finds out from the news that Kurt Cobain was in the very house that he had searched, he went to Kurt Cobain's house and searched it. Courtney Love had failed to mention that there was a greenhouse room above the garage where Kurt's body was found. And that is the bulk of the Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain conspiracy.
I fucking love this. This is my favorite out of your list so far.
This is one of the few conspiracies of all time where I think I went damn near case confirmed.
I think we were both in the green.
We were both in the green, but I was very close to case confirmed. I do believe that Courtney Love had something to do with Kurt's passing, 100%. I do not think that Kurt Cobain was a suicidal person. At the same time, we also denounced a lot of the things that the documentary does where they interview random people and they kind of say things like, oh, he was so happy. There's no way he could have killed himself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, I mean,
the guy was known.
People can be dealing with things, but
yeah, 100%. The guy was known to already have a heroin addiction. All right, so and there's no questions about that. The guy was addicted to heroin.
Right.
But here's the catch to that. He had been doing it for so long that he knew how to regulate his heroin to get the high that he needed to get. And he
Really, we're going with that? We're going with the guy who's done drugs for years, is just good at doing drugs,
Well,
and
so
will
there's a
never
difference- there's a difference-
accidentally do something stupid.
No, there's a difference with heroin users, and I'm going to say this, not giving a nod to drug use, all right, illegal narcotic use. Pardon me. That number one off the bat is obviously a bad thing. However, heroin, if used in moderation and correctly in doses, actually has no ill effects on the body. It doesn't damage your liver, and it doesn't damage your
There's
kidneys.
a correct way to do heroin.
More or less,
Calling bullshit on that.
without
okay.
causing damage to your internal organs. Yes, there is a way you can regulate heroin use to where you can use it safely and still get a high. So that there is a way to do it. I've never used heroin, so I'm not going to claim to know this without.
Can you demonstrate this for us?
Yeah, hang on.
I mean, but
Let
that
me-
is true, though. I know you're giving him a hard time, but that's very true.
So he's had a history of knowing how to properly administer this drug to himself. And the most important part, I think the key element of this story is the amount of heroin that was found in his blood was enough to kill like 7 horses. It was so much. It was, and even some of it had not even passed through his liver yet. Do you understand how much heroin has to be in your system and how quickly somebody has to be injecting you or you injecting yourself for it not to even make the beat, which only takes like 3 seconds to get to your liver? Some of that heroin was unprocessed heroin. It had not passed through his liver yet. That is mind-blowing. That is an amazing amount. Mind-blowing.
Poor choice
I did
of
not mean to use that.
words.
I did not mean to use that. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Forgive that.
What color was Kurt Cobain's eyes? Sorry.
One blue left, one blue right.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
it. But so that part alone.
Oh, you never heard that joke, Josh? Josh is Josh is just now discovering this joke. Wow, that's awesome.
Josh just got it.
These jokes are so offensive. Art and I are driving down to Florida right now. Come on, Art. I got shotgun.
I see what you did
boom.
there. So
Boy.
that key fact of the story alone, the amount of heroin that was in his system, is enough for me to call shenanigans on the whole Kurt Cobain killed himself thing. However, there's so many other things in this story, and I'm so glad you guys talked about a few items that I had not known about. Like I didn't know that allegedly he had tried to commit suicide in Rome. I didn't know that. I'm gonna go actually look that up later because that's pretty cool.
He took he was on some medication and apparently took way too much of it, but while also drinking champagne, and he had to go get his stomach pumped. And I think it was they said it was a suicide, but then they interview one of the doctors in Italy who was like, no, it was an accident or something.
And when Art
But I
says
thought
they,
he was a
means mostly
professional
Courtney
drug
Love.
user, Adam.
Well, he is.
Sorry.
Not that drug, Ron. Not that drug. It was just heroin.
Oh, gotcha.
Ron, you know the
Courtney
term.
Courtney Love really does not help herself in this at all. She like constantly just throughout there are actual audio recordings of her saying like incredibly just damning things about, and she is so like unconcerned with the fact that her husband is missing and like the father of her child and like all this stuff and like this. It's just I'm not a big. I just think that there's something going on there, and while there are a few little like holes,
I see what you did there.
in some of the the conspiracy takes. There's a few like skeptics who still say like no. But I don't know. This one really, this one is really milking me through the butthole. So
Yeah, I'm on board. This is heavy green for me too. Highly plausible, very plausible.
wow.
If someone said, "Oh, we found proof. She did it," or hired a friend to do it, I'd say, "Yeah, that checks out." I would be unmoved.
The police chief who oversaw this case has said on record, he's on the documentary, if I was still the police chief in Seattle, I would reopen investigation into this.
That's an amazing attestament.
He thinks something is screwy. So there you go.
There's so many caveats to this. Artists at the mega famous level, like Kurt Cobain was. Number one, let's focus on Kurt for a second. He defined a genre. So Kurt what his music defined the grunge movement single-handedly. Him and the rest of the band, obviously, but they defined
he also wrote all of
movement.
Courtney Love's top hits.
But
he also wrote all of Hull's top hits.
Well, so there you go. Influential to his girlfriend's music. But Courtney, in the same light, all right, mega famous, mega popular, mega talented. Even though you may not like Courtney's music, if you were never a fan of Hole or any of the music that Courtney Love produced, she still had an amazing following, still fit into the same genre, still fit into that demographic for the late 90s. She was a mega star. So there's no question about that. And that changes, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And she was definitely on top of the game for a while, regardless of anyone's opinion on her. So that influences people's decisions as well. That doesn't change my opinion on this whole thing based on the information that you guys have shared tonight on this podcast, as well as some of the stuff that I know. Shit, I was 15, I think, when Kurt Cobain was announced dead, and all the other 15-year-old girls that were around me that were boo-hooing in class because their favorite emo rock star had just fucking offed himself. Well, he was emo before emo was emo.
Yeah,
I mean, he really
love
was.
that expression. So where are you on the scale?
Let me look at the scale again.
What's your answer?
So to have a case confirmed to me would have to mean that there's enough evidence to reopen the case. All right, legally speaking, not on a silly little podcast in a Chicago, Florida connection. So I'm going to put this as high as I possibly can without having case confirmed. So it's just highly plausible. I'm going to go cunt hair close plausible. I'm making a new category. Cunt hair close plausible.
A new one. Wow. Incredible.
All right, Ron, what about you, buddy?
Case closed.
Case closed?
Nope.
Whoa.
Do not believe it.
You don't believe
Have
it at
never
all.
believed it. Not for a second. If the cops even think, even current cops, for just a millimeter of an opening that they could go arrest somebody for some shit, they gonna try and find a way to do it. There is no way. I'm telling you, this is up there with all the bullshit Hillary Clinton killed people bullshit. It's just complete.
Being Clinton?
Yeah, as being Clinton, it's just all a bunch of internet bullshit. That's just my opinion on it.
Wow.
I would believe that Nixon killed Lennon before I believe Courtney Love killed
Are you
Kurt Cobain.
serious?
Absolutely, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's shocking to me, Ron. That's a shock. I'm exactly the opposite.
I've known Ron for 20 years, and that surprises me. That
Yeah,
seriously.
I just don't buy that.
I
one.
would
Wow.
put you in the
That
green a
surprises
little
me.
bit. Maybe not, close to case confirmed, but I would put you in the green somewhere.
Well, I mean, I look at patterns of behavior. I trust that the cops are going to follow up on any little thing, reopen a case if they felt there was a little inkling of it. They're not. I trust that our government would do some dirty ass shit like go after somebody they see as a political enemy. So that's just my thought process behind those. Like as I pick one or the other.
You painted a pretty good picture there. Okay, cool.
And we still have what, 2 more of these?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. You guys all good?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
do
we're
it.
fine.
Oh yeah, it's Twisted 10, not Twisted 8. Let's do this.
All righty.
Josh, do you want to give a verdict?
Oh, I did. I am in the very highly plausible
you
category.
He's
The plus
heavy
plus?
green. Yeah.
Plus.
No.
Okay, heavy green. All right, then we'll move on. We'll go to number 2. Paul is dead.
Yes.
Everybody knows Paul McCartney, right?
Little band. You heard of it?
Little band. You might have heard of them called the Beatles, I think is how it's pronounced.
2
I'm
Beatles and
personally
1
not
Twisted 10. You gotta love it.
The Silver Beatles. What was it that we found out about? They had like another name for their band. Wasn't it some shit? The Silver Beatles or some shit? Do you remember that?
I remember that coming up, but
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we interrupted you before you even started.
You guys are in the presence of a man who can quote pretty much any Beach Boys lyric, Randy Newman lyric, and Beatles information. That is Andy.
The band went through a few different iterations of a name before they finally settled on the Beatles. I think the Silver Beatles or whatever, they started off as the Quarrymen.
John and
his friends from high school started a band called the Quarrymen, and then Paul joined, and then George. Then they picked up Ringo later on.
Right. Ringo actually wasn't. Yeah. But anyway.
Anyway, that's not. That's bonus trivia, Beatles trivia. So Paul McCartney from the Beatles. There is a theory out there that Paul died in a car crash on November 9th, 1966. He stormed out of a recording session with the Beatles after a disagreement, drove off angrily in his car. He crashed on the motorway and was decapitated. Now, people know that it was Paul McCartney because he had a very distinctive Mini, which is what people say about me as well. Now, to spare the public from the grief of Paul's passing, or maybe just as a sick practical joke, and by sick I mean freaking cool as hell.
Yeah, this is a rad prank.
The remaining Beatles, the surviving Beatles, replaced Paul with the winner of a Paul McCartney lookalike contest, a faux Paul or fall, if you will.
A fall.
He made a faux Paul.
I like
That's
faux
nice.
pas though. That
He made
faux
a
pas ties
pas.
into faux
So
pas.
that's the guy I saw on Saturday Night Live in the 90s? Okay.
That was fall.
Very interesting.
And
Faux Paul?
actually, Ron, who you actually saw was an orphan from Edinburgh named William Shepherd, or William Shears Campbell, a.k.a. Billy Shears. The Beatles, he won the lookalike contest. The Beatles then trained him to impersonate Paul McCartney perfectly.
Wow.
Billy Shears. So, a little bit of background on this conspiracy. So, on 17th of September 1969, so this is a few years after Paul allegedly died, there was an article that ran in the student newspaper of Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, the Drake Times-Delphic, which listed a lot of clues that had been consolidated about Paul's passing. So this was kind of almost an urban legend at the time, and the Times-Delphic article is one of the first pieces of media that sort of codifies the Paul is dead rumor, including some of the clues. So it mentions things like, there's, if you play the White Album track Revolution 9 backwards, you can hear the Beatles saying, "Turn me on, dead man," allegedly. There's also references on the cover of Sgt. Pepper, like on the back, where every Beatle except Paul is photographed facing the viewer. And Paul's wearing an armband in one photo that says OPD, which means obviously pronounced dead. And there's the front cover of the Magical Mystery Tour album, which shows one unidentified band member in a differently colored suit from the other three. So it's the walrus costume. There's a black walrus on the cover. And supposedly the walrus is a Viking symbol for death, and of course the walrus is black, the color of death. So another example would be the interpretation, this is kind of a famous one, of the Abbey Road album cover depicting a funeral procession. So on the cover, the four Beatles are in the crosswalk outside of Abbey Road Studios. John is leading, followed by Ringo, Paul, and George. John Lennon dressed completely in white, who represents an anthropomorphic god. Ringo is dressed in black, representing the Undertaker. Paul, who is not wearing shoes, which the other three are wearing shoes, has a cigarette in his right hand. Paul McCartney is very famously a left-handed person. So Paul is the resurrected corpse. George, wearing all denim, is the gravedigger. So to put this whole scene together, this is the three living Beatles assuming different roles in the procession, escorting the resurrected Paul, in other words, the clone, out of the cemetery. And, you know, ever since this got started, there have been all kinds of clues people have found in the Beatles' music, an ever-growing list of clues found in the Beatles' catalog. Paul, in 1969, when this started to pick up steam, did a photo shoot with Life magazine that was supposed to put the whole thing to rest. But it's not to rest, not like Paul, who died.
Damn.
I've never heard that one about the Abbey Road picture. That one's new to me. That's fascinating. And we just recently we just recently talked about that picture.
It was on
on my
Ron's episode.
iconic posters
That's
episode.
what it was.
That was like number 3 on your list too. The
Yeah,
Abbey Road
somewhere
was
up there.
way
Well,
down there.
super famous.
For recognizability,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yes,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
exactly.
Just so you guys can hear this, I pulled up the audio, and yes, this is through a cell phone on a speaker. Yeah, got it. But we're gonna play the number 9, "Turn Me On, Dead Man" audio. It's like 40 seconds, so let's just hear what this thing sounds like, because I've never heard this before.
Number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9.
Hopefully, it gets to something soon.
Number 9, number 9.
A little repetitive
9,
so far.
number 9. Underman, honey underman, honey underman,
Hear it?
honey underman.
Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man.
Honey underman.
I don't know. It sounds like some
Yeah.
psychedelic Sesame Street
Yeah.
shit to me.
I really-
Number 9.
I'm really
number
sad
9.
that artists stop hiding secret reverse messages in their music since the 90s.
Maybe
well.
they didn't. Maybe Beyonce. Throw back the number 9 on this
She's
list.
got her real birth date in there somewhere.
Yeah. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on. If you play it backwards, it says, "I gave birth to Solange."
Yes. Oh, dude, I don't know, man. This
Yeah,
one's
that seems way out there. This
Yeah.
one feels way out there for me.
This one feels. I think part of the skeptic's take on this one. We always like to give the skeptic's take and the septic tank take. The skeptic's take whenever we give a topic is, I think that this was published in an article for a school newspaper, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, and Tim Drake, who wrote the article, I think
Yeah.
that's his name. He heard it from some people who were just passing through campus. Like he went to a party,
Right.
And there were some people who were friends with people he knew, and they told him about this. But the kernel of truth in this one is that Paul did actually have a distinctive car that people recognized, and it did crash on the motorway.
yeah.
That time, but it was driven by a student. Everybody was going to a party at Mick Jagger's house,
Classic.
and
another
this-
Mick
this-
Jagger
this-
party. I mean, come on, haven't we all been to enough of those?
at this point, yes, we have. Lay off it already, Nick.
Yeah.
But the roads, I guess, were icy, and somebody borrowed Paul's car and crashed it, and that's kind of the genesis of this.
This sounds more like
People
an
think maybe
Onion
people saw
story
this.
than a.
Yeah, because it's got so many layers, right, Ron? I totally agree.
Oh man.
But the clue part of it is very fun, and finding clues in all of the Beatles'
Right.
work, and yeah, there's a lot of amateur sleuths.
So
out there.
there's
A lot of
there's a term, and forgive me because I don't remember the term, but there's a term where human beings make references to photos to draw images in your mind that immediately associate to the image of another human being, especially facial features. There's a term for it. I don't remember what the term is. However, I think that's what this is with the audio being played backwards. So just to tie in the band a little bit, going back to Paul's death, I really think it's a coincidence of audio being played back to where it sounds like a dead man in the track, or Paul is alive, or Paul isn't dead, or whatever in some of the audio tracks that you've heard from the Beatles. I don't really think that was ever intended to be proof or a secret message or some kind of shout out to the fans to let them know that Paul is still alive. So outside of that, I don't think that there's enough evidence, in my opinion, to call him still being alive even into consideration. I'm going to go early on this one. I'm going to call my bunker scale judgment pretty early on this one.
You mean him being dead years ago? He is still alive.
I'm going to, well, yeah.
Not when Adam's
Wait,
through
unless
with
that's
it.
really freaking me out. Is Paul McCartney is still alive, right? I'm not the only one that thinks that. Okay.
Yes, he is.
No, Ron, he passed away several years ago.
Oh my God! I thought.
Ron, wake up.
Ron, can you hear us?
Is Ron even here, or is this?
Oh my God, his eyes are moving.
He's been in the coma.
Number 9.
Have you ever seen
number
Wake Up?
9? Number 9.
Have you ever seen the movie White Noise?
Yes.
That's really all that Ron's
With
voice
Michael
is
Keaton?
in our studio is just white noise. There's actually no Ron here. It's just a ghost image that's
Is
portraying.
this some
through.
crack on the color of my skin?
Only when your shirt's off, my friend.
Oh yeah, boy, that's the white
I don't
noise.
know what kind
right
of drugs
there,
you like to
Jesus.
do, Ron.
I'm gonna go a plausible minus because that's it doesn't add up. There's not enough evidence to point in any direction here to me, really.
Yeah, I'm going hard left too. I'm going case closed. This is BS.
Oh damn, hardcore.
On the BS scale, this is case closed.
Yeah, I'll go same, case closed.
Wow, Ron, the case closed.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
Jeez.
Well, let's see what you got warmed up for this next one, Ron, as we roll on to our penultimate list. Number 1 on the countdown. This is a long distance dedication. It's going out to all the Twisted Council.
I love the Casey Kasem.
Number 1.
Elvis is.
Oh,
That's what I'm
thank
talking
you very
about. That was the
much.
other one that we knew.
Of course, it has to be there.
Was
Yeah.
gonna show up.
Had to be.
The king ain't dead, baby.
That's pretty good, actually. That was good. Good
That was good.
impersonation.
But what I don't know is any evidence to actually back this. I've of course heard this one, so change my mind, Andy and Art.
As we all know, I mean, Elvis has had, probably, maybe not, I would say, would you say comparable to the Beatles or above the Beatles?
Well,
Elvis is.
honestly, as a solo artist, there are very few people who are as accomplished in the music business.
Right.
Say what you will about the artistry or the
Sure.
quality of the work.
Sure.
Very few people have sold more records than Elvis
Yeah,
Presley.
we're talking straight numbers. This guy, Elvis, was the king for a reason.
Lots of accolades. Way more accomplished in his short life than I would in 14 of my own lifetimes.
That's true. That's very true. Obviously, as Elvis got older, he started to gain a little weight, and he started.
Yeah.
And there's other things that this kind of. He famously died on August 16th, 1977. Elvis told his girlfriend Ginger Alden, "Hey, I'm gonna go use the bathroom and take a dump."
God damn, that's a good
And,
voice.
Ginger told the king, "Hey, don't fall asleep on the throne," aka the toilet. Which maybe Elvis was like all of us and fell asleep on the toilet once or twice in his life. But typical Elvis,
or is like me and sleeps on the toilet permanently.
He died while on his cell phone, right? He was on a smartphone. Is that how it went?
Yeah, he had one of the first smartphones.
One of those very early.
But typical Elvis, he did things his own way and embraced eternal sleep while on the can. Elvis unfortunately died having a massive heart attack. It was a case of cardiac arrest while on the toilet, and died that day.
Jeez, what did he eat?
He was straining.
Famous, I think, what was it? Peanut butter, banana, and bacon? What was his sandwich of choice?
Oh, yeah, the peanut butter banana
That's
bacon
yeah.
sandwich, the
That sounds right.
that
I'd say I do the same thing after a little bit of Tijuana Flats, so I feel his pain.
Little local Tex-Mex chain here in Florida.
Local Tex-Mex chain.
Is it local, really?
Yeah,
Tijuana.
started at UCF.
No, I didn't know that. Okay.
So, the very day Elvis died, a man bearing a strong resemblance to Elvis was spotted buying a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires at the Memphis airport using the name John Burroughs. Well, what's important about John Burroughs? That's the exact name that Elvis would use when he wanted to secretly book a hotel to try and escape the paparazzi and his fans. So, over the course of the years, there has been a rich tapestry of Elvis sightings. A December 1977 photo taken at Graceland might actually show Elvis hanging out in the pool house. In the 1980s, all right, that one did not get a big applause. Elvis was spotted grocery shopping and eating at Burger King in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Enjoying a little Whopper, having it his way. Shout out, Burger King, have it your way.
Plug bell.
Burger
Hit the
King.
plug.
Oh,
Sponsors of the
I missed
show.
my plug bell opportunity there.
There
Sorry.
you go.
Elvis had an appearance in the film Home Alone where he was peeking over Catherine O'Hara's shoulder at the Scranton airport, allegedly.
Wait a minute, what?
Catherine O'Hara from like Beetlejuice and Home Alone. That is that?
yeah.
Who? Okay, that Catherine O'Hara. Okay,
He
just making sure.
allegedly,
Oh, I'm looking that
he
up
allegedly
now.
can be seen.
Yeah, there's a scene at the Scranton Airport where Catherine O'Hara is, and there is an extra in the background who's just has his face just over Catherine O'Hara's shoulder, and people say that's Elvis. baby.
Which movie was that again?
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Oh, that was
Home
Home Alone.
Alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elvis allegedly made an appearance at California Legoland's opening in 1999. He's hanging out, getting some Legos. Elvis was a groundskeeper apparently at Graceland in 2016, and more recently, Elvis has been said to be a singing pastor at an Arkansas church.
I mean, what would he be right now? Like 86 years old or something? When was he born? In the mid 30s?
I don't know when Elvis was born.
Andy is looking it up.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Somebody look it up.
I'm showing the boys in studio here the cameo shot.
The over the shot of that. That's supposed to be
That's-
Elvis. That
I mean-
that doesn't feel like Elvis to me.
Well, so it doesn't feel like Elvis because you're picturing in your mind the image of Elvis, the clean cut.
Don't you tell me what I'm thinking. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I guess I can see a little bit of the facial structure in that picture from Home Alone, that cameo shot, but I don't think so. That's a bit. It's off a little bit. All right, sorry, I digress, guys. I'm sorry. We tangent hard, so just throwing that
all
out there.
good.
Yeah,
No,
1935.
it's
He
fun to
was
talk
born
about.
January 8th, 1935.
So he would be 86
Yep.
this year.
Yeah, I mean, he
Still
could
kicking.
still be around as a porter, or what'd you say, a janitor?
Singing pastor or slash
Yeah.
janitor. Janitor by day, pastor, singing pastor by night. Elvis's death was ruled the result of natural causes, yet several drugs were found in the king's body. Before dying, the king even wrote a note to his road manager, Joe Esposito, which read, "I'm sick and tired of my life, and I need a long rest." Wink. Allegedly, Elvis's coffin, this is the one we love the most, was over 900 pounds. And that's because it was actually a cooling system keeping the wax dummy of Elvis's corpse from melting.
Was it really over 900
far as to
pounds
get-
for the coffin?
Yeah, he had this enormous brass coffin, and it was allegedly with his body in it over 900 pounds.
Damn, that's a big bitch. Wait, that's a huge
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
How's the movie go? That's big. That's a big coffin.
One
large
of the things we brought up when we talked about this theory was that back in Elvis's day, people like, I think you brought it up, Andy. You were like, "Man, you look at it, he wasn't really that fucking fat."
But the people at the hospital and stuff, they talk about him like he's some disgusting pig. Like they're like, "Oh, this fat fucking slob came in here. Of course he's dead from a heart attack. Fat pig."
Yeah,
It's like, well, he doesn't look that bad.
he's like 6 foot something, and he's like,
Yeah, he's got a little beer belly,
he's
but
got
like,
a gut.
cut him some
You know,
slack.
there is
Jeez.
something to be said about the westernization of civilization as we know it. The McDonald's and the Chick-fil-A's and all the restaurants
You're
that don't
making
do
me
us
hungry.
Yeah, I know I'm hungry too. There is something to be said about that. The average weight of an American now is considerably heavier than it was in the like 60s and 70s. We're a fatter culture, man. It just is what it is.
We're fat, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Fat culture.
Elvis's tombstone misspelled his name. It says Elvis Aaron, Aaron Presley, versus what his name was, which is Elvis Aron Presley.
Aaron.
Some people say that's a clue that he's not actually
That's
buried
a clue
there.
that he's not actually buried there. And then finally, some people think Elvis faked his death to escape the mob because Elvis had actually been an undercover FBI agent recruited by the Bureau to infiltrate the fraternity, a gang of racketeers.
Now I'm sold.
Yeah. Case
What?
closed.
Elvis got outed
case
as a
confirmed
mole.
right there.
There you go.
Nice.
That did it.
He had to go into witness protection after getting found out, unless otherwise he was going to get whacked off.
Oh, well, why would you run from that?
I would be on for that. Yeah, let's go.
you go.
CIA, come to my house. I'm good. Just come on over.
Gentlemen,
He's gonna
that
get whacked
is
up by
the top
Priscilla.
10
Oh, sorry,
list.
I stepped on his wrap up. My bad.
No. We
Oh.
still have your verdicts to get to.
No, he was gonna get whacked off by the mafia.
Oh, not Priscilla Presley. I'd let her whack me
No.
off.
No.
No, if anything, it would have been Ginger.
Ron, you would let anything whack you off. Come on, Ron.
This is true.
Please.
Josh is whacking me off right now, actually, while we're doing the show.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you,
That's what I'm
Josh.
here
Thank
for.
you,
That's the
Josh.
other thing.
Taking
Taking
I
one
do.
for the
do.
team, keeping the man happy.
He's a team player. All right, so let me.
Yeah, Elvis is dead. Yeah, not super convinced on this one. I think I was somewhere in like near case closed.
So this is a difficult one. So Elvis Presley is still alive, is only maybe barely overshadowed by Tupac being still alive. So those being both in the top three, I think are kind of cool to have together. But I don't even know how to get there. There's not enough evidence to me, tangible, hardcore evidence to me, to tie this into any kind of plausible answer. All
Because
right,
it's nonsense.
well, sort of. So the tie-ins to the CIA and to any of the intelligence agencies that the U.S. government runs, maybe wrapping or maybe even wrapping in the mob, which was unbelievably heavy during Elvis's life. Those are some very, very believable defenses for why Elvis would go to the side of faking his own death and going either under witness protection or under just running from the fucking mob. Those are both very believable bases. But Elvis would suffer from the same thing that Tupac, in my opinion, would suffer from, is the need to entertain. So as a performer, you want to make people happy by entertaining for them. It's just something that's in your blood. My wife is she's still alive. She hasn't faked her death yet, but she is a performer by nature. She's a singer. She loves performing in playhouse musicals. That's just her thing. That's what makes her the happiest in the world, other than her children. Way, way above me making her happy is performing in these musicals.
Sleeping with you makes her the saddest in the world.
Agreed, 100%. But that kind of turns me on, so that's okay.
Man.
In that essence, the performers want to entertain, and Elvis is no different, in my opinion, from that. So we've never seen, like with Tupac, you have the potential, aliases or some other secret recordings or some other
Machiavelli.
yeah,
Machiavelli. thing.
Machiavella. So
Machiavelli.
those types of things aren't there for Elvis. We don't see, somebody that sounds exactly like Elvis that kind of looks like Elvis out of Argentina. You don't see that.
No, you just see 75 of them in Vegas.
Yes. So, in my opinion, I think I'm going to lay a little bit heavier on the red side of this one for Elvis. And as sad as that is to do, I fear that that's unfortunately just what has to be done. So I think I'm going to go more towards the plausible minus on this one. I think I'm going to go double minuses on this one just because there isn't enough tangible evidence out there to even hold that conspiracy alive, other than the fun fact that it's just fun to say Elvis is still
So,
alive.
as you put it, there's like nothing concrete to support this.
Yeah.
So
Way to
Nope.
wrap up my
It's just-
10-minute summary into 2 seconds,
yeah,
Josh.
there's not
Appreciate that.
Case closed. If you believe Elvis is still alive, I have a religion with a sign-on fee that you need to join. We'll save you because Elvis and Tupac are our sponsors, and give me $1,000 and I'll teach you the secret code path to go figure out where they're hiding.
After an e-reader.
Yeah, it's
So I'll give it a plausibility -1.5. And here that he's still alive right now, no way, because even if he had done like say faked his own death, he really wasn't very healthy. He was pretty, decently overweight. I doubt he's still alive at 86. He could be, but I doubt it. But I give it a plausibility of -1.5 because I just have to leave an opening for these extremely ridiculously famous people that get a desire for some kind of normal life out of the spotlight. They are just done. That desire even takes over their desire to want to entertain people. They feel like, you know what, my music will continue on and that will entertain people. And I just need to step away from this, and I don't want the rest of my life to be this way. And for that reason, I know one day we're going to discover that somebody did fake their death. I know maybe it was Elvis, probably not, but so I kind of leave that opening in there for those extremely famous type people that might have.
Even though Ron's in the green or
that.
in the red, he's more towards the green than either one of Josh or I.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
definitely.
interesting.
Yeah, I find it a little bit more plausible than you guys.
Well, there's our summary, boys.
Wow, that was great. And I'm going to give you guys, those verdicts were so great, I'm going to give you a little extra Elvis conspiracy just for your enjoyment. You don't have to rate it. Elvis's middle name, A-R-O-N, kind of a weird way to spell Aaron. Most people spell it with 2 A's. People believe Elvis's middle name was spelled that way in honor of his brother who passed away, whose name was Garon, G-A-R-O-N. Some people believe that Elvis's brother died when Elvis absorbed him in the womb, and that makes Elvis, if you're in the Illuminati kind of circle, that makes you more powerful because you get your twin's power. And so Elvis was more powerful than most people because he absorbed his twin, and his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, initiated him into the Illuminati on instructions from extraterrestrials.
God damn it! Is that actually true? Did he have a twin in the womb, or was that all just fun and games right there?
Now I'm trying to remember if Garon was actually his twin. I think that's true. Jesse Garon Presley. I do think that was Elvis's twin.
Dude, that's
Oh,
amazing.
see, I thought Garon was like a blob on his side, and when they were like 8, they surgically removed it. Then he carried it around in a basket until they got older, and when they were to seek revenge on the people that separated them.
Are you talking about the movie
Basket Case? Yes.
Of all of the B-rated horror movies of all time, you bring up Basket Case?
It's one of my all-time favorite.
I watched
shitty
that.
ass cheesy.
I watched that as a 12-year-old, fucking loving it.
That shit is D-rated movies. Oh my god!
I can't believe
do you
you had
guys even know
Basket
that
Case.
movie? Basket Case.
No,
I highly suggest you
never
just
heard of it.
Google Basket Case, go to YouTube, and watch like a minute of this fucking horrible movie. It's so great.
That's a movie from the 80s that you
Oh,
will...
yes.
The time that you invest in watching the YouTube video that Ron just wanted you to go watch, you could have had better time investing in mining cryptocurrency or something.
I was gonna say. Actually, that's funny you said that. I was about to say, spend that time selling your Bitcoin. That was exactly what I was gonna say.
We think
It'd be
alike.
more valuable.
Ironic that we both saw Basket Case. Okay. Dude, that fucking great list, guys. That's intense. That was...
Thank you, guys. Yes.
you.
This is this was quite the list, but we're glad you guys enjoyed it. I think it had a little something for
Yeah, it was
everybody.
good.
I think we all got to learn a little bit about each other too.
The famous, my favorite part was the Elvis impersonation, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. You have a great one.
Wow,
Just going to throw that
yes.
out there.
Good job.
That's
Art.
much better
Wow.
than my Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Can we get a taste of that? Ron?
Give him a California.
California.
Give him a, I just fell out of the airlock on Mars and my eyes are bulging out of my head.
No,
Go.
I got nothing for that.
That
That actually wasn't bad. I like that.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
It's almost as good as my Australian g'day. Right? All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, very nice. All reviews.
All right, guys, that was a hell of a good list. We very, very much appreciate you guys bringing the heat to the Twisted 10. And go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, before we go into any sign-off, I just want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you want, your site, your show, your friends, each other.
Yeah, you can plug each other. We'll just sit here and wait. Just keep the audio on.
That's for after the show.
All right, Ron. We may be two daddies living together, but we do not have sex.
Yeah, that's true.
With each other. Only with the strange we pick up from Applebee's. That's right. Which is numerous, despite what you might have heard.
Been a couple references of Applebee's and hooking up. It is way different than our Applebee's, because I promise that none of that's going on at our Applebee's.
Our Applebee's are toothless meth
You got to go
heads.
to the Applebee's.
Thank you.
We have a couple of those too, but you got to go to the Applebee's at the bunker. Lots of good strange at the Applebee's at the bunker. Plus all the virgin drinks you want, and you just
Virgin
order.
Long Island's iced teas, all you can drink.
Oh my God! All right, guys, give us your plugs, give us your URLs, your website,
you can
everything.
find us. You can find us, MrBunkersConspiracyTime.com. All of our links to our social media is on there, as well as links to all of our episodes are on there. You can find us at Mr. Bunker Pod on Twitter and Instagram. You can just straight up email us something, MrBunkerPod@gmail.com. And we'll plug the Patreon. If we have a Patreon as well, patreon.com/MrBunkerPod.
And
that's
and
our
your
spiel.
so your patrons though, there's a show there, right? There's a whole other list of content that adds
That's true.
in, right?
Much like the lovely after show here on the Twisted 10. We have Andy and Art Debunked, which is our Patreon only show where sometimes it follows a similar format to the regular show, but it's a lot looser, and we cover things that have a definitive end. Whereas the main show, it's always unsolved. It's always a conspiracy. There's always a question. On the Patreon show, sometimes we'll just cover the life of a serial killer, or we'll cover the life of somebody who's had a wild time. The other week we did the history of Guinness World Records, and we just read a bunch of weird
nice.
records.
Oh, that's fun.
So,
That'd be a good list, actually.
It would be a fantastic
Weird
list.
Guinness.
that'd be a great list. There you go. A great list idea. We could share some research.
The 3-ball
with you.
juggling list is 11 hours, 4 minutes, 35 seconds straight.
Wait, the 3-ball juggling list?
Not
Juggling
list, but record.
Okay,
11
you
hours,
really threw me for a loop
11
there.
hours, 4 minutes, 35 seconds. Unless somebody's broken that since then.
That doesn't seem like that long.
All right. Really?
Ron, it
11
sounded like
straight
you knew
hours
that
of
without
juggling
looking it up.
nonstop?
It really
That's
doesn't.
a long ass time.
In comparison to something
Ron,
that
do
is a
you-
long ass time, let's wrap up this show.
Ron, do you hold
We
that
are
record?
there. You guys, I think, have now set a record. So the first half of the show was an hour. The second half is an hour and a half. There's nothing wrong with having a long show, and we enjoy it. We've had a few shows that have gone 2.5 hours, but none that have entertained us quite like the list that you guys brought tonight from Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast.
Goodness. Well, I'm glad it was so entertaining.
Yeah, we certainly had a blast being. You guys are great. You
guys are awesome.
Thank you so much for having us
Yes.
on your
Certainly.
show and abusing your twisted council members. Viewers for,
No, they love it. They're gluttons for punishment for sure. But no, guys, I think so. Your personality melds extremely well with I think our show's personality, and I see a lot on the horizon. I see the Flat Earth 2.0 coming around to where we're gonna collab with you guys on some more fun, crazy conspiracy theories.
On some Stevie Wonder truthers. Let's get Bonnie Jones on here.
yeah, let's get Bomani Jones on the show.
Oh my God. Well, guys, thank you very much. Art, Andy from Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast. Thank you guys very, very much for guesting on the show tonight and hosting and bringing a fucking awesome list. All the funkers that were hanging out in the Discord, we appreciate you guys as well. Go check our friends out at MrBunkersConspiracyTime.com or at Mr. Bunker Pod on most all the social medias. On behalf of this show, I'm Adam.
I'm Ron.
And I'm Josh.
And to our very special guest hosts tonight, Art and Andy, you want to say something?
Wow, just thanks for having us. Adam, Josh, Ron, it was great being here, and we appreciate you so much having us on.
Glad we could give you the whole enchilada on music conspiracies. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely, fellas. Thank you very much. We will see you all next week. Thank you very much for listening to the Twisted 10. Talk to you later.